Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Blockbuster year 1985. Tonight, we're talking about summer rental. Let's pop in the tape. Hello, hello.
I'm excited tonight, Brandon. May as well just say that right off the top.
Me too.
I've been wanting to do this one since we started this show.
Yes, yeah, this is a big one for me. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Jay, how are you?
Hi,
Welcome to
Brandon.
another week.
It's been another week, hasn't it? It's been a
has
busy
been
week
another
for me.
Me too, me too.
Yeah.
Weeks just keep going.
Yep.
Yeah,
never
they
stop.
do. They do. And I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for all the work you put into this show.
Well, let's see how much work I've done first before you compliment me.
Yeah, right.
We are joined by a very special guest. Jamie Garcia is with us tonight. She, as maybe you've seen, I've been posting. She was a production manager on Mythbusters for many years. I'm
true.
excited to talk about Mythbusters. It's a very important show to me. It came out when I was like at the perfect age to just become obsessed with it from an entertainment value, from a scientific value. And truthfully, Adam Savage is one of my favorite people in the world, just based on his love for film and prop making and all of the other sides of Adam Savage, not to mention my upbringing of watching Mythbusters. So Jamie, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us on the summer rental episode.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
I couldn't be happier.
That opening, watching all of that back, gave me such amazing feelings in my body. I was sitting here like, ooh. So I'm so excited.
I know you usually cut it, Brandon, but can I echo that? Because I noticed tonight, now that we've done so many of the movies that are in the opening on the show, I now have a more of an appreciation for all of the work you put into that opening before we had even done any of them. And you chose all of them. You cut that together. You put like all of that. And I think it's more genius every week. Instead of getting tired of it, I discover something new because I'm like, oh, now I know what that's from.
Well, thank you very much.
I love it.
Yeah.
Gold star, Brandon.
Thank you. I appreciate
Agreed.
that. I think we've almost covered every movie that's in the opening. Off the top of my head, we haven't done Black Cauldron, the animated Disney film. We obviously haven't touched Goonies yet. That's one. That's a big one.
Back to the Future.
Pee-wee and Back to the Future. Those are a couple of the other big ones that we haven't quite hit yet. But those are big episodes for the year, but also for you and I, Jay, personally, those are big episodes. So. But we're checking another one off the intro bumper list tonight with John Candy's Summer Rental. Well, I before we get into Summer Rental,
may I?
Yeah.
What may I? This is a triple win for me personally because one, I've wanted to do this movie since the beginning. Obviously, our love for John Candy.
Yes,
we'll talk about it tonight, obviously. But this was one of my wife Nicole's favorite go-to movies when. It was a funny comedy throughout life anyway, but then once her life got so hellish because of MS, when there were those days where you just couldn't take it and we needed to pull the shades and put a funny movie on and I would cook or order some fun food or whatever, this was one of those go-to movies. So like I've loved it forever, but it has a special attachment to me now. So I'm excited for that reason. What we didn't mention was that my wife Nicole and our guest this evening were very, very close. Jamie was at our wedding. She was the closest thing to a maid of honor. I don't think we officially called it that, but I mean, you were. Steve was my not a best man. You were her not a maid of honor.
Yeah.
So like the fact that all of these things are happening together, that she was available to do this episode, Brandon, that we hadn't done this episode yet. And throw in the fact that she also grew up the street from John Candy. Like, this is the perfect episode.
I remember Jay texting me that and I was like, okay, well, we gotta learn about that. But yeah, no, I'm excited to get into all of that.
Thank you for indulging me.
Of course, before we get too far in, I do want to say hi to the chat. There's people here.
Yep.
Gannon Appleby, welcome back. Honey Wizard. Oh, that's Renee. Honey Wizard is Renee, my wife.
Wait, you're Mrs. Brandon, Renee?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
lovely.
Renee. Yeah.
Hi, Renee.
She says this was before Airbnb superhosts existed. Yes, that is true.
Whoa, good point.
Nina Mercury is here. I always appreciate your.
Oh, a bunch of people in the chat today.
Who's Night Industries? 83 is here. Video Power Gaming.
Oh yeah, that's Dennis.
Usually always the first comment there.
Ryan O'Dell is here, of course.
Yeah, Ryan Dole, past and future guest.
Sorry, Ryan Dole.
Ryan Dole.
O'Dell.
Bad J.
O'Dell. Hey, Ryan O'Dell.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us live. Yeah, I mean, well, first, I do want to just talk a little bit about Mythbusters,
Okay.
and your involvement with the show and sort of what your job entailed. And were you always a production manager, or were there other jobs that you were doing while working on the show?
Well, where do I even start with this?
Yeah.
Well, how did you get involved with M5?
So I was living in Sydney, Australia at the time, and I think a lot of people, even super fans, don't know this. The show was shot in San Francisco, but we cut it in Australia.
Yes.
And then our executive producer was in the UK. And so prior to this...
But the production company was Australian, right?
Yes, the production company,
Right.
Beyond Productions, is an Australian company. And so I was living in Australia, and I was working for Beyond Productions. I was running their entire post house. And when I first started working for them and I heard that they were like the Mythbusters people, like I had a fangirl moment because like you, I was a huge fan of the show. So it was this giant feather in my cap to be like, oh, well, I work for the production company that does Mythbusters. And so I had started working on their post on top of a lot of their other shows that they were producing at the time. And then the opportunity to come up when shortly after from SD to HD, and we were kind of restructuring and we kind of wanted a head in every country, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, do you want to stop doing post for Beyond, and can we just, move you onto one production? And I was like, sure, what production? And they were like, well, Mythbusters, and that would mean you would have to go back to America and go live in San Francisco. And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Playing it cool.
Playing it
I
so
guess
cool.
I can do that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like, let me think about it. And so they sent me to San Francisco, and I headed up the production there, and it was honestly one of the greatest times of my life. And so that's how I got started with them. And then the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah.
Brandon, because you're a fan of the show, her office was right across the hall from the blueprint room.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was right. It was literally right next to it. And I had this really big
the only
window
set.
We used to call it the blueprint room. And then in my office, we had a big window that overlooked the shop. So it was great. And so when I went there, I was overseeing both M5, which was the Jamie and Adam.
Jamie's, yeah.
Yep. And M7, which was Carrie, Tori, and Grant.
Yeah.
And I was like between both shops, but I was mainly based at M5.
They're nowhere near each other, by the way. The names would insinuate that, they're in the same industrial park. They are not.
They're like,
what?
They're 5 minutes down the road from each other.
But a whole different area.
That makes so much sense because there was never any crossover, right? You never see Tori, Carrie, and Grant working on something, and then like through the window you see Adam and Jamie like crossing, right? Like there makes total sense.
Yeah, there were a few episodes where we kind of all came together for like the bigger ones, the James Cameron episodes.
Walking Dead, any of the tie-ins, the studio tie-ins were everybody.
Breaking Bad, all of we kind of like we were more all together for that. But mainly we kind
I
of
forgot about Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I know, it was the best. It was so great.
I totally forgot. That's probably another reason they knew us all when we were in San Diego Comic-Con, and I totally forgot. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That was such a, I mean, it was a great episode, but oh my God, the insurance, I mean, I lost a lot of sleep over that episode, but it was pretty fantastic. But yeah, pretty much they functioned as two separate entities, kind of, you know, and we did that purposefully so that we could, you know, churn out the stories.
Yeah.
And make the, make the TV.
Were you part of the team, or did you manage the team that has to go and find all the weird stuff for every single story, right? Like, because one of the I've seen the odd behind the scenes, you know, special on Mythbusters, and they always talk about how like you're calling all of these like missile defense people and all these random butchers to get various different pig parts, and just the vast net that you have to cast for a show like Mythbusters is not your typical production type phone calls for you know, getting props and costumes and you know, set pieces and things. It's like all of these crazy calls that have to go out and like trying to find things and get access to things that, you know, citizens maybe don't necessarily get access to, right?
Well, let me tell you, we were put on lists for like the amount of like animal lubricant that we had to order, and like it was crazy. So and you know, that's such a good point that you bring up, and I think a lot of people don't realize this, was what we were doing. There are no rules and guidelines for it. You know, we can't just go to any insurance company. We can't just go to any stunt. We can't just, you know, go to any risk management, because nobody's done this stuff before. Yeah. You know? So at the beginning of, well, at the end of every season, we all come together and we all decide. It's pretty much a group effort, and we would decide on the stories that we were going to do for the next season. And those stories came from the team members, it came from the cast, it came from you know, fans writing in. Yeah. And then we would kind of go through all of them and be like, yes, we can do this. Yes, we can do this. No, we can't. Like, and I'm like, I'm sorry, do you want me to have a heart attack? Like, no, we're absolutely not doing that. And so we kind of went from there. And, you know, because we were such a long running show, you know, 14, 15 years, we had amassed an incredible network of people who do really weird shit. Sorry, can I swear on the show?
Oh, of course, yes, yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we had amassed an incredible list of weird people, weird things, and, you know, ways to get weird things.
Yeah.
Bomb people, cadaver people.
Yes.
Oh my God.
You mentioned the silicone lubricant people.
Yeah.
My goodness. I remember one of my first big checks that I had to write, and it was something for like $150,000 for, you know, like gunpowder and armory, and it was just like, I'm really doing this? Like, is my name going to show up? Am I going to get arrested?
Yeah, it's science.
Which I actually did.
It's for science.
It's for science.
Well, and the cops were usually there too, but you were still doing it all. Somebody pushed the button at the end of the day.
Oh yes. I mean, look, we were as tight as we could possibly be in terms of, you know, everything and safety and law abiding and all of that. And everything, of course, went through our risk managers, who were absolutely amazing. Like, godsend. They are the backbone of the show, truly. Yeah. They were the ones that helped us, you know, push through Discovery and push through all the insurances. So that's thank you for bringing that up, because it's it's a really good point.
Yeah, it really is a very important show, not even just for like, you know, what it did for, you know, Discovery Channel at the time, and what it did for entertainment value of television, but like I truly, it is such an important show to me as a young boy growing up with weird sort of interests. That was my favorite TV show. I could not get enough of that whole crew. So
I love, you know, I never get tired of hearing that. And it's, because I feel that too. It was the same thing. That time in my life was the funnest the learning, oh my God, the learning. And, we were a small crew. We were a family, basically.
Yeah.
And so everybody kind of did everything. You asked me a little bit about what my job entailed, and it was yes, it was managing all the people. Yes, it was all the boring stuff like payroll and insurances and, hiring and bringing this one in and all the moving parts and pieces. But, when we had builds that had to get done, we were all in the workshop. We were all painting. We were all,
yes,
part of the experiments. So it was such an incredible growth period.
Yeah.
And, that made it so important to me. And it was real. It really was real. We have the failure is always an option. And I think I brought this up on Jabe's thingy too. But it really was. And we didn't fake anything. And we opened failure. Like, okay, fine, let's learn, right? Because how else do you learn? You learn by making mistakes, And that's such an important message, I feel like, is not just being able to immediately be good at something or immediately solve the problem.
Totally.
And I think it's super important. So I never get tired of hearing that. Thank you for saying that. And I'm just so grateful to be part of that.
Jammers, if I could add to what you just said, though, you also did the opposite side, too. Like, you did treat, the failure as just another step to success, too. But also, like, there were so many times when the show, I think, is maybe bigger than you realize, having worked on it and been in the bubble the whole time. Like, Brandon is younger than us significantly, right? I don't know if you want to say your age, Brandon, but he's a few years younger than us.
I'm 33 years old. I was born in 1992.
So am I. No.
But the way your show, like, if they failed at something or not failed something, but say that something wasn't plausible, you would then take it to the next step of saying, well, what would it take?
Exactly.
What would it take to make this happen the way the story? Yeah. And that expands consciousness. That was expanding.
Exactly.
Totally.
Well said, Jay. Well said. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yay, Mythbusters. And also, I wouldn't have met you if it wasn't for the show, because I was visiting Tori, as we rediscovered the other day on our show.
Yeah, Brandon just asked me.
Yeah.
Brandon
okay.
About it. So
well, I mean, tell the story here. I'd love to hear that story.
I was just visiting my friend Tori, who was a new friend through somebody who we knew from Everybody Hates Chris. And I was up visiting M5. You were right, by the way, James. I went over there first and got M7 first, I think. And they said, oh, you should go over see M5. We'll call them, let them know you're coming. So I did. You met me. And I think because Nicole wasn't there and she was working, we had more one-on-one and we really got to bond. And what I didn't remember on the show was, you said, do you smoke? And I was like, oh, I mean, sometimes. You said, do you want to go outside and smoke? Because you were smoking back then, and a lot. So we went out front, and that's when you told me that your mom had just died. That's when I told you that my dad had died a few years prior. And that's kind of how we bonded. And when we went back upstairs that day, we were already best friends. So when I brought Nicole back later, she already kind of heard you were cool. Well, I think Carrie had already told us that, like, you were her best friend. So, like, Nicole was already, like, primed to be like, well, she must be cool,
right?
And then you guys just hit it off to a whole nother level that I can't even compete with. And then the rest is history. I mean, we just would go up to San Francisco any free time we could, at least once a month, it felt like. And then at some point, you were going through a change of relationship, and you started spending some time down near us, and we introduced her to my best friend at the time, my best car friend probably I've ever had in my life, who is now her husband and the father of their child. So we all go deep.
Yeah, super deep.
Wow. So cool.
And I also loved Mythbusters, but more so after I got to meet you all, because the day I was there, they were reinflating the tire with the flammable whatever, and then and so many other ones I'm sure over the years, but like, seeing that stuff in person made me go, oh, I want to see how they cover the. And then our friend was the DP, of course, and I was like, the camera work on this show is really pretty stellar. Not just the Phantom stuff, but like all of the camera work is really, really good. So then I started appreciating it from that level too, and then I just nerded out. You hit one of those Memorial Day, like around the clock,
the reruns.
You get sucked in.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's in America, but up in Canada, a vast majority of Mythbusters is on Amazon Prime. and I will
Mhm.
I'll go through phases where I'm just like, man, I'm just gonna watch it, and I'll spend like, you know, a few days watching probably like I don't know, like 40 episodes, and then I'll go, okay, I'm gonna watch some movies and stuff now, and then it's like, okay, I got to check back in with Mythbusters. So I think I'm on like season 7, and this is like a rewatch or
Ooh,
7 or 9 or something like that. But it's a rewatch that
that's
I've
the
been
thick of the
doing
good stuff.
for
Yeah.
like probably 2 years, just like popping back in and watching so much of it again.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. You see, this is also a cool thing that I guess is also a little piece of information that people don't kind of know about. But when MythBusters started, you know, the networks with Discovery were still allowing co-productions. And so they were able to have, Beyond was able to be a co-production, and they put in the contracts about the distribution rights. So Beyond own 100% the distribution rights. And now Mythbusters is one of the top redistributed TV shows like in the world.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty
Good deal.
When I talk about it like that, I'm like, holy shit, yeah, that is quite big.
Yeah, it is big. It's very important. It's very big. It was the reason
I don't think you could do that show again.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, they have tried. You know, there was the Mythbusters Junior, and then there was
Yes.
a Mythbusters reboot
Yes.
with some YouTube. Alan Pan had the Mythbusters.
Then there was a
reboot.
Mythbusters with cars that evenTori was a part of with our friend
Yes, there was
Bisimoto.
the Mythbuster cars.
Yes. Well,
Yeah,
and then
there's
Savage
been-
Builds is kind of a spin-off, which is like the same type of thing. What was Carrie and Tori and Grant's show? White Rabbit?
White Rabbit.
White Rabbit, yeah.
On
yeah.
Netflix. Yeah, they had
Yeah.
that show, which was very, very, so like,
Yeah.
you know,
I
you
enjoyed
can
that, actually.
do it.
Yeah.
I loved that show. I loved all the shows, to be honest, but
Yeah.
it just, for some reason, it just doesn't hit the same. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it, you know, obviously these shows aren't lasting 15 plus years the
Yeah.
way
Right.
Mythbusters on TV, kind of in its like, you know, 2000s heyday.
It was an anomaly. It really was.
It really
you
was,
know?
yes.
And I
There you
mentioned this
go.
to Jay
Nice.
too. Like there's no other long run like science show episodic TV that ran as long as what we did. It's crazy to think about that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's a science show. It's a learning show. It's not
It
like
is.
drama, or it's not, you know, it's an ER.
It was. Let's get the bike done. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
There is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're doing Orange County.
Just
tunnels.
finish the bike.
The tunnels.
Pop, we're going at our own pace here. Just finish the bike. Like just constant drama, you know?
And
Yeah.
you know, I thought about Jamie, the other Jamie from Mythbusters, the other day. I was putting a bin up on a shelf, and I went, I can't see inside that bin. I better label what's in the bin. and that is a thing that came directly from Jamie's shop.
Yes.
The hours and hours
Yes.
of footage that I have seen of all of those labeled bins, thinking like, yep, the second it's out of like vision, you need to know what's in that bin, because you'll never remember.
No.
Yep.
That's
Rubber hands.
correct.
Yep, it just, that's the kind of stuff.
You remember
that,
there
like,
was some
I
fun. There was some
absorb.
funny. You remember?
There were some. Weird,
There were some funny labels on those.
I think
Oh, yeah.
somewhere on my Instagram I have a whole thing about the signs that you see around things that you read around Mythbusters. That
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
sit somewhere on there.
Yeah, I'm always looking to see what sort of weird, you know, special effects stuff Jamie had in those bins.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, also like the first week I was there, I remember going and they were like, oh, we need to, you know, I was like, I need some ice and whatever. They were like, oh, it's in the freezer, and I never actually figured out if it was just part of like an initiation or if it.
Oh,
or if it was
I know what
just
you're
a
talking
normal
about.
Thing. But I opened up the the freezer that was in the coffee room, and staring out for me is the head of a pig, a frozen owl, and then just like slabs of something else. And I was like,
But the pig's head wasn't just like on the shelf; it was propped up to look at you, like when you open up the thing, right?
I mean,
or did it just startle you and it felt that way?
Yeah,
it
the
startled me
memory.
and it felt like that because I wasn't expecting that because they weren't like, oh, by the way, there's stuff in the thing in the freezer. So I don't know if they did it, if it was done purposefully or if it was just like, but then I'm like, you know what, it like stayed there for like a really long time, and anytime we had anything, we just put it in the freezer. So
yeah, maybe it was just so normal to everybody else that it's like, oh yeah, ice is just in the freezer.
Maybe.
Right?
So
Well, obviously, I could talk about Mythbusters forever. I find it so fascinating. I've been fortunate enough to have a couple of dinners with Adam through our friend, past and future guest, Paul Sun Hyung Lee. They're friendly, and
awesome.
so I've gotten to talk a bit of Mythbusters with Adam, and it was just such a. It's all so fascinating to me. Yeah. And like I've said a couple of times, like it is very, very important to me. So I could go on forever. So thank you for indulging me.
Did their tour ever come to you, Brandon?
What?
Did the tour ever come up near you?
I have seen the tour. I have met Adam and Jamie. I got pulled up on stage to do the blowing a raspberry with the Phantom Cam. I think the video's on YouTube because when they were doing that tour, they were uploading all of the slow motion Phantom Cam. I'll take a look. I'll take a look, and if I can find it, I will post it on our our Instagram.
Please do.
Awesome.
Yeah,
because Jamie, that was one I remember that night where we all went down to go see them.
Because they were in.
Should have pulled the photo.
It was someplace in Orange County.
Yeah, at the Spectrum. At the Spectrum, I think it was.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah.
Some big, fancy, beautiful place.
Yeah. I have a photo, like the meet and greet with my family and Adam and Jamie. So I'll find that too, and I'll post that as well.
That's amazing.
Nice.
All right, let's talk about John Candy. Let's talk about Summer Rental. Jay, you shared your experience with Summer Rental. I assume had seen it before? All of that, or did Nicole maybe introduce you? Do you remember any of that?
Yeah, honestly, no. I grew up with loving. I would rent it all the time whenever until I owned my own copy. Great Outdoors, which was the other John Candy vacation movie.
Yes,
and that was the one that they shot in Canada, exactly. And then this was one that I didn't see until I was a young adult, probably even either with Nicole or just before maybe. And it felt like a gift. It was like, how did I not know that this is like another version of that other movie? It's maybe even better. And it just felt like a total gift later in life. So I'm still hoping there are other John Candy movies I haven't seen that can do the same thing for me. Yeah. Because this is a total gift that I get to enjoy over and over.
Yeah, there's a couple that I still haven't seen, and I feel very similar to you in that regard. Like I want to discover another John Candy great, and I actually did that recently. I've talked on the show a couple of times with that film Only the Lonely, the Ali Sheedy John Candy film. Last year was the first time I ever watched it, and it's become one of my I love that John Candy performance so much.
That's a wild one too. That's a weird ass story. Jim Belushi's in that, and I can't remember the famous actress with the red hair who plays the mother in that.
What is the mother's name? It's right back.
But you just gave me a great question to ask Ali Sheedy up in Astoria, so thank you for that.
Yeah, let's talk John Candy with Ali
John
Sheedy.
Candy.
Maureen O'Hara, Only the Lonely.
Oh, that's
Maureen
it.
O'Hara.
Yeah.
So
you're right. It's a weird movie, but he does beautiful work in it.
He's so good in the movie. What about you, Jamie? Do you remember how you came about Summer Rental or John Candy in general?
So I met John Candy, my best childhood friend that I've known since I was 4 years old. Her father was a producer on The Great Outdoors.
Oh, okay.
So it was at that time that we met John Candy, and it happens that he was living just down the road from us at the time. I went to the set of The Great Outdoors, and I have this beautiful memory of him and I. You remember the bear?
Yeah.
Bear ass.
Bart the bear.
His name is Bart. Yeah, his name is Bart. And I remember being on set and like really nervous to just like to meet Bart. fucking huge.
Yeah,
man.
he was a grizzly bear, a trained grizzly bear. It's insane. They don't do that a lot anymore.
Whoa.
No. And he had a son too. Bart had a little. The name fails me now, because I'm old. But and he
it's not the years, it's the mileage.
After Bart passed away, he went on to perform in his father's stead and all that. But he was such a loving human, and I just remember him being so beautifully kind about me being horrifyingly scared to meet this bear who all I wanted to do was just give me a hug. He was a special human being, and I feel like he brought such genuine, affectionate feelings to anybody who watched him. And so I always held that and carried that feeling with me. And so any movie that he ever did, I ended up watching. So
yeah, of course.
God. How old would you have been during that time?
I was a baby.
That sounds like an amazing experience.
No, I was a baby. I don't even remember. I mean, I knew her when she was 4.
Wow.
When was The Great Outdoors?
1988, I believe.
88? Yeah. So then,
oh my gosh.
I was 6. Yeah, I was 6.
Whoa.
I know.
Yeah,
I have
88.
That's an impressionable time, though. So of course it's locked in there.
I know. I have lovely photos of it. It was just, it was so lovely. And he was a part of my friend Elizabeth, of her family. And he became part of our family. Parts, and so to answer your question, that was why I started watching and loving his movies. And then as I got older, I appreciated all of those memories that I had. As Jay said, he lived down the road from me at the bottom of Mandeville Canyon there, and in
Los Angeles,
yeah, every Easter he would throw this, and it wasn't in a creepy way that you would think nowadays, but he would throw this massive Easter egg celebration for all the kids in the neighborhood.
Yeah, of course.
And
he's a family man.
Yeah, but such a family man. And it was nothing but just pure love. And he was always talking to everybody and just welcoming everybody. And he opened his home and he opened his heart. And so we would go every year while he lived in that house.
Wow.
And it was just, he's a special man. And when he passed, it was really hard to hear. But he was such a special man. And so
I cried, and I had never met him. I just wanted to work with him one day, but I was crying the day I found out that he died.
I still cry when I think about it.
Think about it, right? You're right. I cried today during the documentary. You're exactly right, Brian. Brandon. Sorry, Brian. Episode 35. I'm going to get it one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days.
That was the most embarrassing thing ever. Sorry, Brandon.
And I think that
I don't know what happened there.
You don't even have to have met him, though. That's
no.
The thing. It's because what you get from his movies and watching his performance, the way he portrays himself and everything, really, it makes you very emotional, and that's what it was like to actually know him in real life.
Yeah.
And so,
the stories that you just told are the stories that everybody tells, right? Everybody who got to meet John Candy, know John Candy, they all are he was so warm, he was kind, he was inviting. I mean, the documentary you're referring to, Jay, is the recent one, I Like Me.
Yes.
And it opens up with Bill Murray talking about how he wishes he could find something bad to say about John Candy, right? Yeah. And you've never heard a bad thing about John Candy, ever. Not even a losing his temper due to the stress of a set, right? All of these things, no one is telling these stories of how John Candy was an asshole to me. I just wanted to get his autograph or get a photo with him or something. No, he was kind to everybody.
He really was,
because he was the everyman, right? And all of that comes through in the performances that he gives, and that's why we, even not having met him, we feel his kindness and his he's just one of us, right? There's just something about John Candy that you're he's just one of us, right?
Yeah, it's a gentleness,
somehow. Yes, very gentle, exactly. Right.
Yeah. And he really was. He knew everybody's names on the crew. he knew what their families were, and he remembered, and you know, it's a really rare thing in this industry, is to have an individual like that.
And to top it off, he was Canadian, so that's very important to me personally.
That's right.
It makes me very proud to be Canadian.
And
representing the tribe north of the border.
He had a rough upbringing, you know. He didn't have the greatest of, like, you know, family situations.
Well, he lost his father when he was five years old. His father died at 35 years old.
Exactly. So to have all of that and to carry that, and just to, you know, you have a lot of people that kind of go the other way with things like that, you know, just to turn it into everything that he would want for himself, you know?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think personally, what had happened to me, I just turned into the angry young man, which I think is a little more of a common tale. It's just like, oh, he's angry at everything for no fucking reason because he got a unfair shake at things. You lose your dad at 5? That's not a fair shake at things.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I can't imagine. And he had sibling too.
Yeah.
And then apparently he's the one who took up all the slack, you know, once his dad wasn't there. It's so much
his older brother
to bury.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll say it, but if people have not gotten around to watching the Amazon documentary, I Like Me, the John Candy documentary, it's awesome. It's so great. Directed by Colin Hanks, you know, son of Tom Hanks, one of John Candy's co-stars, for a movie this year, but also the previous year with Splash. So, you know, and
produced by Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, who is a diehard John Candy fan, particularly Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So the documentary, it's handled very well. I think there's lots of really great information and stories in there. I rewatched it as well before this episode, Jay, and I went in thinking, oh yeah, John, this is gonna make me cry, because you know I teared up when I saw it the first time, and then I ended up crying the most when Catherine O'Hara came on screen. Because we've just lost Catherine O'Hara, another amazing Canadian woman who makes me proud to be Canadian. An incredibly funny woman, and just an incredible person, also very kind. But yeah, I got the most emotional seeing Catherine O'Hara talking about John Candy in this documentary.
Right in the beginning, when Dan Aykroyd starts talking about, you know, there's a word you don't hear very often anymore. That word is grand. You know, I started right there. And then it came up a couple different times.
All right. So Summer Rental is one of 4 films that John Candy has in 1985. Just
unbelievable.
For reference, the very first film we covered on this show, Brewster's Millions with Richard Pryor. He's in Follow That Bird, the Sesame Street Big Bird movie.
That's right.
Yeah, he plays the state trooper with the little kid. You know, the Joe Flaherty and Dave Thomas are like I can't remember. They have a punny name, but they're the brothers, and they rip off that little kid. And then John Candy has the kid, and he like picks him up in the window, and that little kid identifies him. Great bit. He has this film, Summer Rental, and then another film, which I just alluded to, which is Volunteers, the film that he makes after Splash with Tom Hanks. And we'll talk a little bit about Volunteers later.
You know, I have not seen that one.
Me neither. And we're going to cover it on the show because it's 1985. But I've never seen it either.
I can't wait to hear what you think. Nicole did not like it.
It does not sound like it's an undiscovered
gem. It's up there with Joe versus the Volcano. It's just kind of like, all right, of course it's got your people in it, so you got to see it, but like it might not be the best. It's very, you know, they have accents. It's a whole different thing.
Joe versus the Volcano, Jay.
Okay, you like that one. I forgot. Paul Kennel loves that one too. He absolutely loves it. I forget.
We know, and he says, and I don't know, you felt like this about that movie.
That one has always been a little hacky for me. I've never really liked Joe versus the Volcano, but maybe I need to see it again.
It is.
Maybe I need to see it again.
Breaking my heart.
Okay, I'll watch it tonight.
Tom Hanks's career around this time is very fascinating because he's not the Tom Hanks that we know and love, right? He is sort of like struggling with what is his star image, what kind of movies should he be making, because he makes a movie like The Burbs in what's The Burbs, 87, 86, I think.
I would have said 89, but
maybe you're right. It is 89. Okay, so it's a little bit later. But, Burbs is a great use of Tom Hanks, right? Splash,
totally.
Splash 84, great use of Tom Hanks. But
Excellent.
then there's also, they're not bad, but there's like Punchline with Sally Field.
Dragnet.
There is Dragnet, which is a weird one, but still entertaining. The Money Pit.
I love The Money Pit. That's my favorite one. I love that one.
But they're these like weird movies that people aren't watching The Money Pit and Punchline the same way that they're watching The Burbs.
Oh, Punchline.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
See, Punchline is such a good movie, but it's not a comedy. It's just about comedy. It's actually a very dark, depressing piece about what happens to comedians in that, and they're probably depressed to begin with. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Punchline. I forgot about Punchline. Sally Field.
Yes, he's figuring it out at this point in his career, but he
hasn't won 2 Oscars back to back yet either.
Exactly. And he's not getting into the Castaway, the Forrest Gump, the stuff that he's really, really known for. I
thought of the one that's really, really weird. The War of the Roses. Is that the one he's in?
Was he in
No, it's not that one.
No.
It came out the same time. It's a Mad Dog and Glory. He's in that one, right?
I've never even heard that title. I've never heard those words.
It's Robert. I think it's Robert De
order.
Niro and Tom Hanks. I'm gonna look it up.
I got it. Yeah, interesting.
It's around the same time period too, mid-late 80s.
Yeah.
So obviously, we all love John Candy.
I'll find it.
He comes up a lot on this show. I was thinking about it. I was like, the 2 people that come up the most on this show, Jay, are John Candy and Albert Brooks. Those are the 2 people that somehow we always bring everything back to talking about John Candy, talking about Albert Brooks.
We love them both. They're both amazing.
John Candy and Albert Brooks.
I did want to shout out so I'd mentioned the 4 films that John Candy did in 85. That was his second biggest year. Every other year is only maybe 1 or 2 movies. The only other year that beats it is his 1991, which is Nothing But Trouble, a film I love, Career Opportunities, which is a small part in a John Hughes movie, so kind of a favor, Only the Lonely, which I just mentioned, Delirious, which is, I think, a really great idea for a movie. I don't think it's the carried out the best. And then he has JFK, which is his more serious role. Yes. Glasses
I love that role. Oh and he's got that high voice. Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Oh my God, he's good in that movie. Oh, I forgot.
So that's,
by the way, Bonfire of the Vanities is what I was thinking of with Tom Hanks.
Bonfire of the Vanities. Okay.
Yep. So that's 5 movies in 1991. That's a big year.
That's crazy.
That's
John
huge.
Candy.
That's huge.
Before we get deeper into Summer Rental, I'd like to just know both of your maybe favorite John Candy movies or your favorite John Candy performances. So I don't want to I don't want to leave talking about this guy. I love him too much.
That's a good one.
Go ahead, Jamie.
I think, from top to tails, Great Outdoors is by far, it's one of my favorite movies of all time ever. And his performance in it was amazing.
Ba 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 boo. All I would have to do is say that to Nicole. Ba 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 boo. She already started laughing.
I was recently looking at buying a 76er shirt, like the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, people make them online, and I was like, because I just rewatched it semi recently, and I was like, I need that shirt. I need that. I ate the 76er or whatever it says.
The old 96er, yeah.
Is that what it is? Yeah. 96.
Yeah, the old 96er.
Yeah, that was the next point that was coming out of my mouth, was that and the bat scene, just like fucking hilarious. I just can't. I just die laughing every time. Just thinking about it, I die laughing.
His physical comedy and the jet ski scene, water skiing scene. I mean, my God, that whole lake I don't know, you wouldn't call it a montage, but that whole musical thing is so stinking good.
Yeah.
So good.
I agree.
Man, that's
People
a good
might
one,
not.
James. I don't
People
know. They're
may
all
know
good.
this already, and it's kind of obvious. But the cabin from The Great Outdoors, they shot that at the Universal backlot, and it used to sit as part of the tram tour for many, many years. You used to drive by the cabin from The Great Outdoors. It's technically still there. It is cut in half.
Yeah.
It's refaced on one side, and it's behind the War of the Worlds set now, and you could just barely make out some of the wood still remaining. But
I
it's
didn't know
also
that.
it's the same.
I was just there the other day. It's always been cut in half, by the way, because they moved that thing. I mean, it was there's a real cabin in Canada, I guess, that they replicated on a lake, and then they had it in the soundstage, out of the soundstage. They moved it all around the back lot, and you're right, it's behind War of the Worlds now, but the tram does still go right by it. So as long as you look, you can see it.
You have to look to your left to see it.
It's where the Jurassic Park Site B used to be.
Yes.
They moved it right next to that.
It is also the filming location for Naked Gun 33 1/3 is the same cabin from The Great Outdoors. If you
want to go nuts with it too, the Mark Wahlberg movie Shooter, it's the finale scene in Shooter too, which I thought the movie was really great until all of a sudden we were there and I was like, well, geez, now I know where we are. Yeah, it took me out of it.
What about you, Jay? Favorite John Candy performance or film?
Buddy, that's so tough.
I know.
It's so tough because they're all so good. I echo everything Jamie just said. Obviously, most every scene from this movie tonight. I have a soft spot in my heart for Canadian bacon. I love Canadian bacon.
Yes.
Most people don't know that one too well. You and I have talked about it a lot, Brandon. Yeah. I love Canadian bacon. I think he does great work in it.
Doing the list of the John Candy movies and just kind of putting together the John Candy in chronological order, this was the first time that I realized that it was released after he died. It's 1995.
It's one of
release.
Two. Yeah. That one and Wagons East with Richard Lewis.
Well, technically 3, because a film that I talked about on our House episode because of George Wendt, John Candy's directorial debut, the TV movie Hostage for a Day, also came out after he had passed away. So Hostage for a Day.
I forgot.
Yeah, Hostage for a Day, and then Wagons East, which is the production that he dies on. And then there must have just been an editing thing. Just, the movie came out in 1990. Canadian Bacon came out in 1995. But that movie is wonderful. Like, if people have not gotten around to Canadian Bacon, it's directed by Michael Moore, the documentarian.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
I rewatched it last year when there was some certain, things going on with a certain leader of a country saying that they were going to take over another country up north. And when I watched Canadian Bacon, I was like, oh my God. In 1995, this was like a comedic plot, a funny idea, and now there's actual talk of like taking over Canada. It was very strange.
I did find a video, Brandon, from the other day. If you want to see it real quick, of the Great Outdoor Cabin.
Let me.
Go back.
I'm gonna make you big, and then you can show the video. Go ahead, show the video.
I love it. Thank you, Brandon.
This used to be Jurassic Park, Lost World, and Part 3, the embryonics lair. It's gone, all gone. They moved the Great Outdoors cabin over here, and we're behind the big plane crash. Yeah.
So cool.
Feels like we're in Lost. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is still intact, thank goodness. I don't know what they're going to do with it. It wasn't in the best of shape, but it really hasn't been in good shape for, decades. Yeah.
Well, it's also kind of like to your point with Shooter it's kind of too recognizable now, right? Like if somebody is like a movie fan or they're paying attention, like it does sort of take you out of certain things, seeing a filming location that's so iconic to other movies, primarily like comedy movies. It's kind of
there's a reason they changed the look of the Clock Tower Square because it's so Back to the Future. That's all people can see.
Yeah.
Well, and just to cap it off, I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna say 4 John Candy movies as my favorite. In no particular order. It's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah, that would have been my go-to.
Spaceballs.
Oh yeah.
Forget about Spaceballs.
Uncle Buck is a movie.
I was literally gonna say Uncle Buck was my next one.
That was Nicole's favorite. That was her favorite.
And Uncle Buck for me was not my favorite when I was a kid. I was much more into, and similarly to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Like as a kid, Spaceballs, and the next one that I'm about to say, Cool Runnings. Those were my favorite John Candy movies.
I forgot about Cool Runnings.
I loved those movies when I was growing up, and it wasn't until I became more mature that Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and Uncle Buck really grew into like being my favorite John Candy performances and my favorite John Candy movies. Yeah. Cool Runnings is
with the Jamaican bobsled team.
Yes.
It's the best.
And it's a true story. It was based on a true story.
It is a true story. Yeah. I love that movie.
Yeah. It's on Disney
Jammers,
Plus.
while I was looking through photos, can I show a photo with the three of us and then your other, somebody who's not in the picture anymore?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a picture of all of us back in the day in San Fran. Look at those beautiful girls. Isn't that adorable? Not having anything to do with John Candy. Sorry.
Yeah, but 2 of the 3 people on this show are in that photo, so I'll allow it.
Exactly.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, buddy. I was trying to find pictures of us inside the cabin because I brought Nicole into the Great Outdoors cabin as well.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So Summer Rental is directed by Carl Reiner. Carl Reiner has his own prestige in Hollywood and in the entertainment industry. Carl Reiner was the creator of the Dick Van Dyke Show. He also was comedy partner to Mel Brooks. Doing the 2,000-Year-Old Man. They wrote on like the Sid Caesar couple renditions
Variety
of
Hour.
Sid Senior's Variety Hour and show.
Yep.
Very famous comedian. John Candy himself was a big fan of Carl Reiner, and really the reason he signed on to do Summer Rental, aside from it being his first lead starring role in a motion picture, was because he wanted to work with Carl Reiner. Some of the other films that Carl Reiner made, one of the best comedies of all time, The Jerk with Steve Martin. An absolute...
He hates these cans.
It's my favorite part. Somebody hates these cans.
Stay away from the cans.
This movie is an absolute classic. So funny, so silly, so goofy. Yep. He also made a film which I truly love. It may not be everyone's favorite, but it is very enjoyable. Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid.
So that is a weird movie. I agree, but I enjoy it also.
Yes. If people don't know, this is a Steve Martin movie where they, similar to, people may remember all of like the MTV Movie Awards, where they like the host would get rewritten into famous scenes from movies, and they would like do jokes and make fun of things. And this entire movie, Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, is essentially Steve Martin being written into classic 30s and 40s movies with very famous stars of that period. And it's so goofy, it's so funny, but it may not be everyone's cup of tea. But this is a Carl Reiner film, which I also love.
Controversial, Brandon, but okay.
Yeah.
He also made another movie which I remember seeing when I was much younger and liking, but I have not revisited. And I'm gonna rewatch it now that I relearned that it was a Carl Reiner film. But it's Steve Martin's The Man with Two Brains. Have either of you seen that?
No.
Many times. Lily Tomlin.
Yes,
it's
very
great.
Goofy.
It's bizarre as hell, though. It's the same thing. It's very Carl Reiner comedy.
Yes.
But it's the Carl Reiner comedy that's not when it's wrangled. Like, I have a feeling that George Shapiro or somebody else on this one did some wrangling in of Carl Reiner's, because he's like really good as a duo, because he's like off the charts bonkers. And then The Man with Two Brains is off the charts bonkers. It's like conceptually it's bonkers, the performances are bonkers, but it's all those people doing the thing that they do, and I can't get enough of it. But it's not a good movie.
You've just made me realize like how reined in Carl Reiner is for Summer Rental, considering
Yes.
those three other films I just mentioned. Those
Yes.
are wacky movies. And
This
Summer
movie
Rental,
is grounded in reality.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, I would agree.
I
It's a very
attribute that. Who
wholesome
else?
story,
George Shapiro?
really.
Yeah, well, and we'll talk about George Shapiro, one of the producers on this film. The last thing I wanted to mention is obviously Carl Reiner is the father of Rob Reiner, right? Who you know, makes Spinal Tap and Stand by Me and you know, Princess Bride, many classic films. So the lineage, Rob Reiner, best friend to Albert Brooks, one of our favorite people.
Yeah. Well, he's in the news every day here in LA too, because of his son Nick is on trial for murdering him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Summer Rental is written by Jeremy Stevens and Mark Reisman. Not a lot of credits that they have. This is one of the only sort of movies that they wrote. Jeremy Stevens was a writer on 2 episodes of SNL in 1981, so maybe brought in as a guest. And then wrote
during the Dick Ebersol years.
Yeah. And then wrote for Everybody Loves Raymond. Mark Reisman, 4 episodes of SNL, and then was the producer of Frasier, and a show that I've only ever heard of, I've never seen, but he was the producer and a writer on a show called Wings. There's 100 episodes of
How
Wings.
do you not know Wings? Oh my God!
I know Wings. I've just never seen it.
Oh God, I feel like it would be so up your alley. It's classic.
1 year old when Wings was on television, so that's why I haven't.
I know it's like getting upset that you haven't seen Taxi, but it's the same thing. It's
love
all those
Taxi.
same guys.
I've seen every single episode of Taxi.
This is Taxi in an airport on on Nantucket, and it's the same creators, it's the same people. It's awesome.
Wonderful.
Tim Daly, Steven Weber, Crystal Bernard.
Yeah. Wings was one of the few shows, because I had this whole chunk of time where I was living in South Africa where we were still sanctioned because of like apartheid, and so they didn't bring in a lot of stuff. Wings was one of the shows that they like
that got through. Wow.
kind of like got through post all of that, and while the country was still in turmoil and trying to figure out, you know, what the fuck.
Yeah.
So it was always on TV. So I have a special place in my heart.
Totally.
Well, 100 episodes is nothing to shake a stick at.
Yeah.
And that's where Wings is where we got Thomas Hayden Church too. You know, that went on to be famous from Sideways and so many other movies now.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Of course.
George of the Jungle, classic.
Mm-hmm.
I know him as Lowell. Hey, Brian. Maybe that's where the Brian came in before.
Yeah, maybe you got Thomas Hayden Church on the brain. And then Summer Rental has a couple of very important producers. One that you've already mentioned, George Shapiro. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I say the other one? Because this is a Nicole thing, and anytime this guy's name would come up on screen, she'd go, "Oh, Bernie," because she loved Bernie Brillstein so much.
Yes. Yeah,
she used to drink wine in Lorne Michaels' office with Bernie Brillstein.
Yeah, I mean, Bernie Brillstein is so one of the unsung heroes of like our comedy movies of a certain era. Here's just some
and
of
TV
the
shows,
projects
Brillstein
and TV
Gray,
shows.
yeah.
Here's just some of the Bernie Brillstein projects: Blues Brothers, Ghostbusters. Ever heard of it?
Yep.
Spies Like Us, which we've covered. Ghostbusters 2. One of my favorite television shows, Alf, is a Bernie Brillstein production. Gary Shandling Show, which will tie into the Rip Torn of it all. Happy Gilmore is Bernie, the Cable Guy. Mr. Show with Bob and David, one of my favorites. And News Radio is a Bernie Brillstein show.
That's the one I worked on. But I don't think that Rip Torn was on the Gary Shandling Show. He was on Larry Sanders.
Oh, sorry, Larry Sanders. Yes, my bad. Yes.
But they might have both been Brillstein Gray because Brad Gray was Gary's manager. So they probably both were Brillstein Gray, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Could be. But it very, very important comedy producer. And then the other producer, George Shapiro.
He was a comedy manager who ends up getting the producer credit on all the different productions that his clients are in.
Brillstein or Shapiro?
Bernie Brillstein.
Oh, he was a
and
manager
George
too?
Shapiro.
Yeah, because I knew Shapiro
Yeah.
was a manager
And so was
primarily.
Brad Gray before he was well, he's dead now, but before he was a studio exec.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
was at Paramount when he was the head of Paramount.
okay. Well, this is a Paramount film. So yeah, George Shapiro. He's Jerry Seinfeld's manager, producer on the Seinfeld TV show. But for me, more importantly, George Shapiro was Andy Kaufman's manager, which I think is very cool. Danny DeVito,
played by Danny DeVito in the movie.
In one of my favorites, Man on the Moon.
Man on the Moon. Mine too. Milos Forman
plays George Shapiro in Man of the Moon.
Supposedly he signed on to do the movie if he could play George Shapiro, and then didn't he end up producing it too? I think Jersey Films might even produce it.
Yeah, that sounds right. I mean, George Shapiro is a producer on the film as well, but I mean,
sure,
yeah.
Wow.
But he was also Carl Reiner's manager. George Shapiro was. So these are important people at this time, bringing everybody together. And they, like I had mentioned, this is John Candy's first starring role. So every other film he's been in previously has either been a small bit part, or like Splash, he's playing the brother to the lead character, or he's playing the best friend, right? This is the first time that John Candy was offered, the leading role. He's the patriarch of this family. He's taken his family on this vacation.
It's one of the funniest parts that's on the TV behind you right now, Jay.
Yeah, that is the best scene.
Oh my God. Isn't that incredible? I'm waiting on a part from Cleveland or whatever he says.
Yeah. I think at one point he says like, "Oh no, don't worry, it's just ice water," as it's like splashing on everybody. It's so great. He's got his daughter on his shoulders, trying to navigate the beach, putting out people's little barbecues, stepping on their cameras. Yeah.
There's so much good ADR in that scene too. Hey, you're getting sand in my lens, and hey, get on. There's all these different voices. It's great.
Where were we?
Sorry, didn't mean, but I just
no. No, it's
like...
music by Alan Silvestri, which is pretty cool. Obviously,
how did I not notice that?
Yeah,
I've only ever thought about the Jimmy Buffett song that you can't find anywhere. It's out of press or never been printed.
Never been. The only official release of the Jimmy Buffett montage song from Summer Rental is on the Summer Rental soundtrack. Whoa. It's never been released in any other capacity. But yeah, the score to this film is done by Alan Silvestri, who has a pretty big movie the same year when Back to the Future.
Kinda.
Yeah. It's a very different score from Back to the Future. It obviously serves the film, it does what it needs to do, but it is interesting to think about the Back to the Future score and the Summer Rental score being done within the same time period, right?
Yeah. There's a few things these are all things that are happening. Like Goonies is the same year, and Carrie Green looks so much younger in this than she does to me in Goonies.
Yeah. And she's 18 years old.
She is in this movie?
85. Yes. Well, they never specify.
I wonder when they shot this.
If
they shot it the year before or something.
Yeah.
You don't want to know when they shot it?
Because
it's one of the most interesting things about this movie. They started filming March 18th, 1985. They shot from March to May of 85, and this film comes out August 9th of 85.
Whoa!
An incredible turnaround.
That's tight, man. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Whoa!
Yeah. It's unbelievable, really. And
we're still cutting physical film back then.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is not a digital age. Whoa.
Well, and as much as I love this movie and I love John Candy, this movie does have problems. It has issues at the latter half of the movie, and everybody.
Well, tell us what they are, Brandon.
Well,
maybe I don't know what they are.
Okay,
I never noticed.
My biggest issue with this movie is that when he starts sailing training with Scully, I find myself losing interest. He's no longer with his family. You like the 3 days of sail training?
It's part
Absolutely.
of his transformation.
Absolutely.
You
Him
wanna-
getting drunk with Scully and throwing up the oyster crab. That should be the
I don't
last
mind-
of them.
I don't
Oh
mind
my
that.
God.
That's
The
day
darts,
one.
the darts when he's
That's a
and then
good
it's his
scene.
own dart.
That's a great scene. And in fact, that was the biggest laugh that Renee, my wife, had, is when he pulls up and he has got the dart.
Blue, that's
who
you.
threw that one? Blue, that's you. I win. But my point is that when
It's going around on the ceiling fan.
the 3 days of back to back sailing training and the getting the barnacle ready until the family comes back to help.
It's not the family vacation movie.
It's the weakest part of the movie in my mind, and I think that's where the speed of getting this movie done. I don't think the screenplay is as polished as it could be, because the first 40 minutes of this movie is like the funniest, best, top tier John Candy in my mind. Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
I agree with everything you just said, but I wonder if it's intentional, just because, like, he's going there because he's burnt out at work for being an air traffic controller and he's forced on vacation. And the whole first couple weeks just seems to be more of every goddamn thing that could go wrong goes wrong. And it's just happening. Right. Once he breaks free from all of that and goes on this spiritual quest with Scully getting drunk and sailing and whatever else, deciding how he needs to save his family and whatever, I feel like is when Jack Chester actually starts to become the man that his family needs. And he actually
with
grows.
his family.
Back together.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it happens. As long as he raises up to the point where when they do come back, he can be there for him. And I think that he was. And I think that the payoff at the end is worth it.
I would
But
agree.
again, just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I see what you're saying. I don't think the movie
Yes, and
I don't think the movie earns that.
yeah, okay. Maybe I'm being like wishful. I'm filling in the blanks with happiness.
A little bit of headcanon maybe.
Yeah.
I just think that the movie and the movie itself actually there is a whole cut story arc with the family and John Larroquette, because
That would be my complaint. I would like more of John Larroquette.
We meet John Larroquette at the movie theater when he so kindly pays for the movie tickets because Karren Austin, what's her character's name? Sandy has forgotten her wallet. We see him there. We see him the next day when they say they're going to go boating. They're going to go on his speedboat. And then we really don't see him until the very end of the movie when he's waving and cheering them on at the regatta race, right?
When they're he's dog sitting for them.
Essentially.
Archie's with them.
So there was a whole Dawn is the character's name. There was a whole Dawn story arc cut from the film because it got into like him getting close to Sandy. It never
we don't need
went.
that.
It never went in that direction.
Right.
But I found this interview with Karren Austin, and I just want to read this excerpt from it. She says, I've forgotten exactly what we shot, but I had some nice scenes with John Larroquette, not John Candy. He and I were really getting closer, and at one point I said to him, I really love my husband, or I'm not available. We had a montage of things with him and the kids where we did more touristy things. I think we went to Busch Gardens and shot with some parrots. And then more scenes of me coming home and John Candy being sad. So that was sort of a B plot line. Sorry, my phone glitched. So that was sort of a B plot line. But when we showed it to audiences hated it because they didn't want anything to threaten John Candy. They didn't even want the hint that he might be hurt by his wife. So they cut that whole sort of storyline. And maybe that is what is missing in my mind, because they do show, Sandy saying like, come on, like, if your leg hurts, I'll carry you, right? Like, come and be with your family. And he's choosing to stay home so that he can go and train with Scully.
They're not even out the door and he goes out the back.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, if I'm being,
but he's doing
hypercritical-
that. Isn't he doing that to? Isn't he doing that to save, or not yet?
No,
No, he
Not,
just
we haven't come up with that
he
plan
still
yet.
hasn't happened
Right,
yet.
right
doesn't
now
do-
we're just breaking free and we're loosening
does-
up a little. I see.
he does 3. I have it written down. He does 3 separate days of training. Then he finds out that the landlord has been released from the hospital. Goes to the funeral home.
Yeah,
and
released
now-
from the hospital.
Yes, and now
He's
Al
dead.
is the owner of the rental property, and it's not until after he comes back and tells his family they have to leave that Jennifer is upset because she has a date with Greg. That is when he goes and he challenges Al.
You're right, because you're right. He's already been sailing when he goes and sizes up
Yes.
the barnacle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Got it. Yep.
The sailing is, and to your point, maybe is more of a thing he's doing for himself, but it just feels like the part of the movie where I go,
Well,
I love
but-
the beginning of it. I just want his
Do you-
family to come back, right?
Right.
do you remember the part with Scully where he's like, "Do you know what it's like to peak at 18?" And he's like, "Yes, I do." And
Yeah.
then it becomes this whole spiritual journey. Do you really want to learn how to sail? Yes, I really do, because he thought he had this genius idea of, I embarrassed my son with the volleyball on the beach, but I can take him sailing. I know how to sail. And then he goes out there and he rams into the other boat, and so that's embarrassing,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work out. And I just feel like he's so down on himself, and he's burnt out, that he needed that time. Even though you're right, it's not the feel good, like. He wasn't water skiing with his kid, like he was in saying "Give me a hug" like he was in Great Outdoors. Maybe that's a good point. I never really thought about it. I just looked at it as a building period.
And I'm being
Oh shit!
I'm being
No, I can't.
critical.
This is hilarious. Now we're going to be rotating here. This will be fun.
Sorry, I'm back.
It's all good. It's all and now Jay see
Oh,
this
now
is
I
the
can't
audio
hear
thing.
you.
Now Jay can't hear. We were just sort of talking about how similar, like he's not spending time with his son.
I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Hi,
Jamie, you can't hear us?
I can hear
She
you.
looks-
I can't hear Brandon.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well. Any better? Is this any better?
I can hear Brandon. I can hear Jamie.
Can you hear me, Jamie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yay!
We solved this issue. Okay, so Jay, you just brought up the embarrassing his son at the volleyball. One of the things that I've never noticed, and it wasn't until it was pointed out to me when I watched the audio commentary, which I have to give a shout out. The audio commentary is done by a YouTube film historian. His name is Joe Ramone, and he has a channel which I've linked videos down below. It's called Hats Off Entertainment.
Oh.
And he is a massive John Candy fan, but a massive film fan, and he does he does deep dives into John Candy and his films, and he's been doing that for a number of years. He went a little bit viral a few years ago because he was talking about the lost 3-hour version of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh
Which-
yeah.
Yes, which Steve Martin shared
Heard
his
about
video, and then it eventually led the subsequent releases of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles contain over an hour of never before seen footage, and his video, the popularity of it sparked who put out Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? Who is that? Oh, Paramount. It sparked Paramount to go through their archives and find this lost footage and put it as a special feature. So he's quite he's one of my favorites. I love watching his videos. So he did the commentary track on Summer Rental, and one of the things that I learned is in the scene later in the film when John Candy comes into the bedroom to talk to his son Bobby has a trophy at the rental house of a volleyball tournament, first place. And so one of the
Bobby's
other,
good.
but Bobby won the championship with John Larroquette. That was part of the cut storyline with them. So all their time with Don, they played volleyball and entered the volleyball competition. So Bobby wins this award with the other guy, and all of that was cut.
I've worked with John Larroquette a couple times. He's a tall dude, so he would be probably better at volleyball.
Oh yeah, he
really
looks tall,
super tall.
He can reach over top of all those people with that money at the movie theater.
So you mentioned the movie theater. What movie do you think they were going to see? Did you check all the posters? I wrote them all down.
I know what they all are. So all the posters seen at the movie theater: Footloose, which is
seen twice.
They're all Paramount films. Footloose,
right.
Top Secret,
Yep.
Uncommon Valor, which is probably what they're going to go see. Friday 5, which we've covered on this show.
Yep.
Dragon Slayer.
That's the ones I got.
And then, do you know what the last one is? Which was
I only saw 5. Well, I saw 6, but one was a double. There was 2 Footloose.
And there's one more poster that I actually had to go through, and I had to go frame by frame to see what it was.
What is it?
It's okay. So it's after Jennifer is talking to Greg, and there's a reverse shot, and you can just barely make out it's Airplane 2, the sequel.
No way!
Because you can see the nose of the plane, and then you can see Santa Claus on the back.
Amazing.
Yeah. So those.
I just watched the first one yesterday, or over the weekend.
Classic.
Yeah, I went down. You know what, Brandon? I went down a classic rabbit hole. Just since this is a movie podcast, I watched The Final Countdown. Have you ever seen that?
The Final Countdown? No, I don't think so.
Very, very interesting. And then, are you familiar with the Philadelphia Experiment?
The Philadelphia Experiment, like the actual experiment? Is this like a documentary you watched?
There was a real Philadelphia Experiment, but this is the movie about the Philadelphia Experiment.
Is the Philadelphia Experiment the one with the prisoners and the
No, it was a real thing they did apparently during World War II, where they were trying to find the government was trying to make ships radar invisible, and they were doing it with radiation and all the high-powered yada yada, and they ended up making the entire ship invisible. And they didn't know where it was or where it went, and supposedly it got lost in time and all that crap. And then when it came back, the men and the ship were like melded together. It was like it came back wrong, like The Fly, with The Fly and Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. So there's this whole movie about that, but then The Final Countdown, and then so now I'm looking at these disaster movies. So I watch Airport 3 and 4, which is Airport 77 and 79, The Concorde.
Yeah.
And then I rounded up with a car movie I had never seen, Vanishing Point. And I feel like you would really like it if you haven't ever seen it.
Vanishing Point. Wait, I know the title. Who's in it?
Yeah. Nobody. I don't remember the guy's name, and it's basically him driving a car across country. It's one of those like car stunt movies where the police are just chasing the car and the guy. Cleavon Little's in it as the DJ on the radio, as a blind radio DJ. You know him from Blazing Saddles. He was the sheriff of Blazing Saddles.
Okay, yes. Black Bart.
Black Bart. No irony. Sorry for the tangent. But I was watching classics and I was thinking of you the whole time.
I learned something about John Larroquette that I've never known. Obviously, John Larroquette, Night Court. I think most people know him from Night Court. 193 episodes of Night Court.
Dan Fielding.
Twilight Zone, the movie. For me, growing up, he was the bad guy in Richie Rich, the Macaulay Culkin 1994.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But here's the thing that I learned that I had no idea. John Larroquette is the narrator at the beginning of this film.
I know what you're going to say.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yep. He's the guy who reads the macabre.
Yes.
The whole.
I had no idea that was John Larroquette. Wow. I learned that for this show.
He also won an Emmy with us with his work on David E. Kelly as a murderer. In fact, he came back to bring that role back a bunch of different times because he was so loved as the murderer. He got away with murder.
I've never seen it, but he did 84 episodes of the John Larroquette show where he played a character named John Hemingway.
That show is so freaking good. He was a recovering alcoholic working in a train station. It's such a great show. Love that show. Can't find it anywhere.
A couple of other people in Karren Austin plays Sandy. She was also in Night Court. That's John Candy's wife.
What? I didn't realize that.
She was in 13 episodes of Night Court, and in that article,
John Candy's wife in the movie. I got it. Okay,
got it. Sorry. Yeah.
Got it. No,
Karren
my
Austin
bad.
plays Sandy. Jax.
My bad.
Jack's wife. In the article that I was reading about her talking about the cut storyline, she talks about how she got to know John Larroquette better on the set of Summer Rental than she did at Night Court because they never really crossed paths.
Oh, that's funny.
Carrie Green, we've talked about. She is Jennifer, and obviously she's Andy from the Goonies. Huge summer for Carrie Green to have a John Candy movie and the Goonies, which is massive. The son,
Joey Lawrence.
Bobby is Joey Lawrence.
Whoa, Blossom! Whoa,
114 episodes of Blossom. I not knew him, but the Disney film Oliver and Company, which is like the Billy Joel Disney movie with dogs and cats. He's the titular Oliver in Oliver and Company.
It's so funny.
And then little Lori, their youngest daughter, an absolutly adorable
amazing
little actress. She is so cute
I love
in this
that movie. Oh my god, I still have McDonald's.
Oh, for Oliver and Company. Yeah.
Oh, is she breaking up?
Yeah, I think we're just catching up.
I'm losing you all now. Uh-huh.
Yeah. But you're a big fan of Oliver and Company, I'm gathering. Uh-oh.
This internet's going to be great once they get the bugs worked out.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to invest in it until they get the bugs worked out.
But little Lori is played by a young actress named Aubrey Jean. Her only film credit is Summer Rental. Did you notice anything strange at the later end of the film related to little Aubrey Jean? Maybe a line of dialogue that stuck out to you?
I could say this to Nicole anytime and she would start laughing. But if I ever said, "Mom, can I play in the basement with your coup?" she would start laughing hysterically. I'm assuming you mean that?
Yes.
Is it that line of dialogue?
That is a obviously 80-yard line from the film. It sticks out like a sore thumb. It is so obvious that it is not little Aubrey Jean. And the backstory behind that is, so obviously, they're out on the water, they're shooting. There is laws to protect children in the film industry. They can only work for so many hours. Yeah. And what happened is, there was a mistake. They did not catch the audio of that particular line, and they couldn't or didn't want to spend the money to have
her come in for ADR?
Have this little girl come in for ADR. But do you know who was already scheduled to do ADR?
Please tell me, because I've always wondered who does this voice.
Carrie Green. She was already in the studio. She was doing ADR, so they just asked her to do her best little girl voice.
Oh my
God!
God!
That line. So that weird dub that sticks out like crazy is Carrie Green doing her little sister's voice.
Brandon, you are scratching an itch in my brain that's existed for, a dozen years or more. Yeah. And I know if Nicole can hear this, she's going like, that makes sense. Yeah. I had no idea. That's
awesome.
Again,
that is shout out to Joe Ramone on Hats Off Entertainment on the commentary track for Summer Rental. So that is a deep dive.
The other thing I could say to Nicole anytime, and she'd start laughing hilariously, and I would say it like if I accidentally cut somebody off or whatever, I'd be like, "Sorry, pal, I'm late." And she would start laughing at me. Because it's such a dick move. Do you remember in the beginning when he blocks the car in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, that is just that's an ADR line, right? Like it's
sorry, pal,
but it
I'm
is
late.
Very funny. Yeah.
The basement with Yorku thing though, that's the previously the worst one I'd ever thought of was in Raiders of the Lost Ark when he's like, oh, that's just my pet snake Reggie, and he goes, come on, show a little backbone. It's like two completely different guys.
Yeah.
This is equally as bad. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
Do you have the cover of the movie there?
Yeah.
Can you look at the title for a second and tell me how, what your thought is on the concept about the title?
The title, like the actual word "summer rental" circled.
Yeah.
I think it's like a classified ad in like a newspaper.
Totally agree. Except that's not how they get the rental. The guy from work. It always bugged me because I was like, But
maybe the guy from work found it in the newspaper.
Oh, could be. That could be. You're right. I didn't think of that. It was in my mind. It sounded like, oh, they've used this one before, or he already had the number. Man, wasn't it great of him to find this place for us?
Jamie, I just want to check in with you. Can you hear us? Are you, or is it all crazy on your end?
Uh-oh. I'll text her.
Yeah, because the only other thing she could try is just like closing down her browser and opening it up again. A couple other people that are worth mentioning. Richard Crenna plays Al, and most people probably know him from the Rambo movies.
Yeah.
Here she
is.
Yeah, welcome back. Great to have you. Yes, he's the colonel in the Rambo movies. Again, like he has another movie because Rambo First Blood Part 2 is the same year.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things, I think we talked about it on the Rambo episode, but Richard Crenna plays essentially the same type of character in the Rambo movies in the parody of those movies in Hot Shots Part 2. He plays essentially Charlie Sheen's like commanding officer, but in the comedy parody version of those really Rambo movies. And then I love Richard Crenna in the
super
parody
crazy on my end. I don't even know if you can hear me right now.
Yes, we can hear you.
We can, but I think that's how long the delay is.
No.
The 20 seconds or so from when I asked that question.
No.
If you can hear us, Jamie, your best bet is to maybe leave and shut down your internet. If you can, restart your router, but I know that's a lot to ask. That would be the best way is to just sort of close down your web browser and then come back in through the link. Richard Crenna is in the parody of The Fugitive, Wrongfully Accused, and he plays the Tommy Lee Jones character, the U.S. Marshal, and he's fantastic in that movie.
Like that one? Because I think I bought that after your recommendation, and I started it, and I wasn't loving it, so I turned it off.
We can sort of hear you. We don't know what our gap in time is for when we can hear you.
It was so strong in the beginning.
I know, it's crazy how it happens. Wrongfully Accused, I don't think is a great movie, but I think Richard Crenna is really great in it. And
that's
there's
good enough for me. And Leslie Nielsen.
There's some funny Leslie Nielsen things, but I do think that Richard Crenna is better than Leslie Nielsen in that particular film. I think he's quite great.
I probably, he's been in so many movies over the years, but I probably saw him in this first, I'm guessing.
For me, it was definitely the Rambo movies. That's the first thing I'm sure I ever saw him in. But he's a good actor, especially considering to go from. And I just started it and I wasn't loving it, so
she sent me a video of what's happening for her, and it's probably not good.
Especially considering Richard Crenna does, Rambo, which is a serious movie. He's playing a serious character, to then doing
extremely serious.
Summer
that's one of the
Rental.
most heartfelt. Sorry.
Well, especially the end, right? Like it's him and Rambo at the end.
I told you that movie blew me away, and it was because of that scene the most.
Yeah. We talked about it in great deal and how disappointing First Blood Part 2 is because it completely just destroys that ending of the film.
No, you're right. Paul's Son Young Lee. I forgot that. We did do it. We unpacked all of this. I told her to reboot. We'll see what happens. Hopefully she'll come back.
Hopefully she come back. But what's interesting is how funny he is in Summer Rental. Just doing little bits, like when he can't get the signature at the coffin edge, so he like closes the coffin lid to like sign on the lid.
Just despicable. He just sucks.
Yeah. Oh, this is your table?
He's like, how about a little bit of room here? He's trying to get the other bereaved people, like, give me a little space.
Yeah.
Get me a little elbow room.
And there's there's that really weird one. He's like, and these are your shorts? And he like unzips his fly. It's such a weird dark energy he has in that.
When that first started, and he's like, and they they just sit down and they're gonna take his lobsters, of course, and the whole bit.
Yeah.
But he's like, no objections. This meal is on you. Thought he was gonna say me, and he keeps slapping his wife.
Yes.
And he keeps slapping and every time he slaps his wife, she moves over. He's like, she looks so disturbed.
I know, he's really great
so
in this movie. Yeah. And then they have that bit where they're both choking on popcorn after the challenge.
I never really got that. I never found it funny, and Nicole used to laugh, so I've softened to that part. But as a kid, it always used to irk me.
I think it's a on the day.
Oh, ta-da!
Any better on the phone?
Oh shit! But now
I don't know. I'm on my phone.
Oh, there you are.
My computer's literally not switching on. You guys broke my laptop.
Oh no!
She sent me this text. She goes, "LOL, I can't even reboot. I'm just pushing the off button and it's not happening. It won't stop."
You guys are still talking like on my laptop while the thing it won't even let me.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Well, we are so glad you're back. Thank you for figuring it out. Oh, I guess Jay can't hear. So I think he just needs to come back in for the audio. We were just talking about Richard Crenna, who plays like Captain Al or Al. He's our big bad in the movie. And how funny he is in the movie because he plays everything so straight and serious, and he's a very good serious actor because he is the Colonel in the Rambo movies.
Yes.
But he all of the bits he's doing in this, he's playing them very serious
and so dry. It's but
so dry.
But that's what makes it brilliant.
Yes.
Because you have John Candy, who is soft and goofy, and it plays well off each other.
And he's so smug.
Lovable.
So smug.
So
Al. And then another big person we need to talk about, unless is there anything on the family, Jamie, that you want to, the Sandy, the wife, Carrie Green, Jennifer, Joey Lawrence, just because we were going through that and you weren't really here. Is there anything on the family you want to say?
I without knowing what you guys have talked about or having, I don't know. My computer is still talking to me. It's the transfer. I just love the transformation that happens. And when you were criticizing the 3-day sale, I'm still not over, in case you can't tell. It's really cool just to see how they all look at the beginning and then how they are at the end. Like, the only one that doesn't really change that much is Carrie Green. She's always, because
but her attitude kind of does.
In her skin, but
yeah.
But when she comes up and she's like, "Dad, this could be the one," that gets me every single
well, time. They have a very nice moment together. Like. They have that bonding moment where they're sort of talking about, serious things, which allows me to believe that she probably is playing 18, because of the things they're sort of talking about, sex and growing up and maturing. And she's clearly into boys and, Jack is kind of struggling with that as, that's his oldest daughter. but yeah, it does lead to her kind of having that moment where, yeah, Dad, maybe this is the one, right? Before, and I love all that stuff at the end. Like the montage is one of my favorite bits in the movie. Like when Sandy paints herself in the corner and then John Candy comes up and he's like, I don't know, I've done the same thing down here, right? That's all great stuff. Okay, so nothing really more to say about the family.
No,
I just want to give you the opportunity. Okay.
You guys got it, man.
When you when you, speaking of Cary Grant and the sex and everything, when they first come out in the bikinis and then all the lifeguards start coming down,
yes.
you know, and they have
and
that whole thing.
All their jock straps are hung up on the clothesline. Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah.
But one thing that though the ADR that I always laugh at every single time, and Nicole did too, was when he's like, "That guy looked like John Madden."
Yes.
And he does look like John Madden.
I'll be honest. This rewatch was the first time I ever caught that line.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't catch it.
I love it.
I didn't catch it. I got to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
When they're all like hutting out, you know, he's like, "Oh, that guy looked like John Madden."
Yeah, that's a great line. Also, another thing, I maybe it would have come up, but this rewatch was the first time I made the connection that the guy that burps in John Candy's face when they're walking the public beach, that's the same guy that John Candy finds later in his bed upstairs watching the Smurfs.
I think he's called Red Hat Guy. Nicole and I called him Red Hat Guy.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's definitely
like
the same guy. So today, you mentioned the first time. I've seen this movie, I don't know how many times. Call it 20, maybe more. First time I realized that the guy on the phone when everyone's in Jack's house, when he goes next door about the other, it's George Shapiro. He's the one on the phone the whole time that won't get off the phone.
Yes.
When they're making eggs and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen it so many times, had no idea. And now, and it's unmistakable. He looks exactly like him, sounds exactly like him.
Yeah. Well, we have to talk about Rip Torn, plays Scully in Summer Rental. He's a real pirate in 1985. Rip Torn is a very cool actor. I know for me, I think the first thing I probably ever saw him in was Men in Black. He's the leader in the Men in Black films. Zed, I think his character's name. He's wonderful. I have to bring him up because we always do, but he's in Albert Brooks, Defending Your Life.
For me, it's that and Larry Sanders.
Yes, Larry Sanders. Dodgeball. He's Patches O'Houlihan.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
In Dodgeball.
He's in Dodgeball.
I don't like that one.
You don't like Dodgeball?
What? Jay, stop it.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah, no, okay. He was fine in it. Yeah,
he's funny.
Nicole and I figured out at the end that, because she worked with Ben Stiller for a bit too, and we figured out at the end that we liked Ben Stiller as an actor, but we didn't like his character parts. So Dodgeball is for sure a character, and Zoolander character, and all that kind of stuff. When he's just a neurotic Jewish guy, we loved it. So somehow Dodgeball sort of in between. Yeah, it's a little hacky.
My favorite part in Dodgeball is actually Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman plays one of the announcers at the end.
See it. Okay.
He's at the end of the movie, and Jason Bateman I think it's the funniest Jason Bateman performance, because Jason Bateman's playing a character. He's not playing the Jason Bateman that we know and love. He's playing this like kind of weirdo cool guy. I don't know, like he's got like spiky hair and he's like maybe
and at the end he's got
something.
The glasses on and like
but he's a sports announcer. He's so funny. He reminds me of like Fred Willard in Best of Show, where like
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that.
Where Fred Willard is like asking weird questions and like his co-host
he's off the rails.
Yes. Jason Bateman.
How much you think? Let me ask you a question. How much you think I can bench press? Like what the fuck?
He's so great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, Dodgeball is not my favorite comedy, but there is stuff in it like Rip Torn. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, which is so iconic and so funny. And I've always loved the like similar to like basketball, where it's like this like ridiculous sport, like what the real world televised, all the millions of dollars thrown into a big professional sport. I like those fictional creations of that world. So the end of Dodgeball has always been like my favorite stuff, when they're in the arena and all the uniforms and the team names and all that, the fake advertising and all that production design type stuff has always been my favorite aspect of something like Dodgeball.
I mean, you're right I love everything you just said in basketball, so I just need to apply it to Dodgeball. All right,
and
expanding my horizons.
It is a big character on Ben Stiller's part. Like I totally see what you're saying. I mean, I don't agree with the Zoolander. I love the Zoolander.
No, everybody does. I know,
but that is a big character. So I get it. Like it's to each their own.
Fair,
but. I mean, speaking of big characters, Rip Torn is playing a literal pirate in this. Like, he's got a hook hand and he's wearing a bandana and he's going to R, right? He's the barnacle.
How'd you lose your hand? I don't think you want to know that.
I do think one of my favorite jokes has always been the fresh grouper, lightly battered with a lemon. The delivery of that to the
with shallots, buttery sauce.
We'll take 5, please. And then just the cut to the simple 5 frozen dinners come out of the freezer, which does set up, the climax of the movie, right? They're going so slow because the frozen dinners in the freezers are still in the boat. But it is a good joke, to set up the fancy dinner and then cut away to frozen dinners.
Well, and it comes back at the end too, obviously, too. Yeah, so it's kind of a nice setup for the payoff at the end.
My Spanish is so bad. What does he say?
Thank God, yeah. Thank God for my shitty Spanish.
I do like there's another joke with that character too, when John Candy comes up and he's like, "Where's Scully?" And then he tells him in Spanish, and he's like, "Scully, where are you?" And he's like, "He's over here." That's what I said.
That's what I says. Yep.
Cortez,
that was the whole thing. He had a whole bunch with Cortez. Like, I tried to deport Cortez. I love their little bond of merry pirates.
The last person of note that I want to mention is Richard Hurd. He plays Angus. Yes.
Mr. Wilhelm from Seinfeld.
Yes, exactly. So he plays Mr. Wilhelm in Seinfeld. 11 episodes. He's, if people don't remember, he works with George at the Yankees. In one of my favorite George storylines, where George is like sleeping under his desk.
It's the best.
It's the best.
It's the best.
The cut to like the close-ups of George Costanza under his desk with everything all set up and all the.
That's the actor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you would I mean, he's obviously doing a Scottish accent. He's got a big red mustache. He also, if I didn't even know this, but he is in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. He is part of Steve Martin's family that is at the house.
He's the father-in-law. That's right.
He's the father-in-law.
At the very end, yes.
And again, a lot of his story or more scenes were cut out of the final film. So he doesn't have any lines of dialogue, but he's in the final sequence when Del has been invited to Neil's house and they're, carrying the case hand in hand on the way to Neil's Thanksgiving, and they open up the door and, introduce everybody
home.
to
Neil's
Del.
home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Richard Hurd is in that. He's also in a film which I love. Again, I haven't seen it in a long time, but Steve Martin's Sergeant Bilko. Have you guys seen that?
No, I don't think I ever saw that one.
Yes. I remember watching it like a long time ago, but I can see like the cover in front of me.
Yes. Steve Martin standing in a bathrobe with a golf club. He's like a military leader at like a boot camp.
Yep.
I remember enjoying it. I haven't revisited it, but I want to watch it again. And then he appears in Jordan Peele's Get Out in 2017. Obviously much older, but he's in there. But those are the people that I wanted to make sure that we sort of talked about. Now, I'd already mentioned the insane turnaround of this project, March 18th to May 15th of the same year that it comes out. They finish shooting and the film is in theaters 3 months later.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The other interesting thing is that this film is a Paramount film and was originally developed at Paramount by Michael Eisner and Jeffrey Katzenberg. And it was one of the final things that they developed before Michael Eisner leaves Paramount to go become the CEO of Walt Disney.
Wow.
Michael Eisner is CEO in 1984 is his first year. And one of the things that is talked about on the commentary and I was reading about is Summer Rental. It's kind of interesting because usually when a new studio head comes on, a lot of the projects, they get wiped, right? Mm-hmm. Studio heads don't necessarily want to continue with in development projects that the previous studio head was, investigating or touring around with, right? They want to bring in their own stuff or develop their own things.
Yeah, they want to spend that money.
Exactly. This is a rare film that was developed by a previous studio head, but then the current one, Ned Tannen, he's the one who came in.
Sounds made up.
Ned. He came in from Universal, but liked the script so much that he decided to move with it, albeit in a very, very short time frame. And
also, John Candy was hot in that moment. I mean,
if
you have him as his first leading thing, it's like you're not going to shelf that.
Yeah.
Or you shouldn't.
Yeah. They don't really specify if Michael Eisner and Jeffrey Katzenberg had the John Candy of it all. That timeline, I don't know. But if that's the case, I totally agree with you. But for something, maybe it was the Carl Reiner, the script. I don't know. But Ned Tannen kept the script. The only thing that he was concerned about was the latter half of the movie all taking place on boats, because Ned Tannen was the in charge of Universal Film in 1975 when a little film named Jaws was being made. And the filming on the water was such a terrible process for everybody involved that Ned Tannen was essentially scarred from making movies out on the open water. And he wanted them to change the whole... he wanted them to do something different. He didn't want any boats in the movie.
Wow. Instead of a sailing finish, it was going to be something else, golfing or something. Wow.
Yeah, competitive kite flying or something. Who knows? But they ended up, saying,
luckily, when you're only shooting boats from boats, it's not so bad. What they were trying to do with Jaws was a lot more.
Oh, yeah, much more involved.
Also, they were in Martha's Vineyard versus Tampa, Florida, or wherever they were in this.
Yeah.
Little different.
They shot the movie for an estimated 10 to 15 million. I saw a couple sources that said 11 million for the budget. The story of Summer Rental is actually inspired by a couple of true stories. One of them primarily is Bernie Brillstein has a story about how he went on a summer vacation at a beach rental house, and one of his clients showed up, Mr. John Belushi, and invited a whole bunch of people to party in his house. And Bernie comes home, and it is essentially the scene from Summer Rental where John Candy comes back from the neighbors, and everybody's in his kitchen, in his bedroom, and primarily the inspiration of the man in the hat upstairs in the bedroom was John Belushi laying in Bernie Brillstein's bed, wet and dirty.
Wow. That bed looked wet and dirty. They nailed it.
It was
nailed it.
Yeah.
Wet and dirty.
And he gets up and he walks away.
Gross.
He's got sand all over his butt, and there's cigarette butts.
Cigarettes everywhere, and the dog.
My favorite.
You know what? You just helped me.
Yeah.
You helped me realize that was sand. I always thought it was piles of ash. It was sand.
That's what I thought too, actually.
Yeah, no.
Because of all the cigarette butts and the beer
Yeah.
can. Okay, so it's sand and...
Yeah. And I absolutely love the detail of him being up there cuddling with Archie, the family dog.
Yeah.
It's so great. So that was inspired by a true story. Apparently the other part of the film that was inspired by a true story was the neighbor showing
No way.
showing off her boob
Boobs.
job. Yes.
I gave up a power tool for those.
One of the writers knew somebody whose wife was doing that to people. She had just gotten a boob job, and she was apparently showing them to people and asking if they looked natural. And it is a bit in the movie.
Has that never happened to you, Brandon?
No, not yet. Not currently.
You got to get down here to LA.
I'm only 33.
Come down to LA. They're everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do think I think the joke is like funny as it like builds to the movie, but I think it reaches the ultimate when she shows the judge.
Yeah.
And her response is like, "What? He's a judge." I just think I was like, that's the funniness of the joke is asking the judge's opinion, the regatta judge.
Because that one could go nowhere, but it actually builds.
It
does.
does. It does build, right? Yeah.
I actually really liked that the husband was into it too, instead of being
me too.
like, get out
Me
of my
too.
house. He was
Yes.
like,
do me a favor.
What do you think? Tell me it's really, you know, like I like that about
Mister,
it.
do me a personal favor. Would you grab one and tell her they're perfect? Like
exactly.
He's actually like kind of supportive. He's like, they're perfect, they're great, they're wonderful, right?
Yeah.
Stop showing them. They're great. They're wonderful.
He's worried about her self-esteem. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
like,
that was different.
You're so self-conscious. They're perfect.
Yeah. You know, I gave him
that guy, by the way, is in the Money Pit. Speaking of the Money Pit earlier.
Oh, okay.
He's one of the professional plumber in the Money Pit. One of the Shirk brothers. That's not an 85 movie, is it, Brandon? Because
no.
Oh, okay.
No,
so close.
That's not. It's probably around that time. One of the things I learned is Jamie had talked about it a little bit earlier, but the things that John Candy would do for people on sets. And one of the things he did for the cast on this movie is on his days off, he would go to the bookstore and he would buy books for people and give them to him as like, you know, something to do in between setups, right? Now, Karren Austin, throughout the course of the film, she has that camera. She's seen her character is taking pictures. You know, there's the scene where John Candy comes home and he's got dirt on his face and she's up on the balcony and what does she say? Like, there's a case of depression in this household or something. And she's got her camera and she like takes a picture of him. Well, one of the things that John Candy did is he went and he bought her a photography book and he gave her this photography book and she read it over the course of shooting the 7 weeks. Learned a little bit about photography, and the photos that are at the end of the movie during the end credits, some of those photos are her pictures that she took during the course of shooting. Right? Some of them you see her take in
the movie, and that like the dirty picture, that one's in the montage.
Yeah. So just a sweet thing that he did, and
that's lovely. I like that story.
Yeah.
I think I knew that those were her actual photos, but the backstory of how she got into it and all that is beautiful. Lovely. I did not know. That's awesome.
Yeah, some of them look more like you know, like a publicity, like stills
PR,
photographer. Yeah. Especially, you know, probably the ones that she's in. There's a couple family photos, but there's a few that are like so candid, and they even
when they're working on the boat, those close-ups, I feel like there's some there.
I should have pulled the photo actually, but there's one. And it's John Candy wearing like a white sort of shirt that doesn't really look like anything he wears in the movie. And his face, it looks like an in-between takes photo. Like it looks like just John Candy, not
Jack Chester.
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
gonna watch that back again and look at those. That's really great.
Yeah.
By the way, it never occurred to me how close those names are. Jack is short for John, and John Candy, Jack Chester. Yeah. I never realized that.
Well, and maybe it's a reference, maybe it's a coincidence, but John Candy's daughter in real life is named Jennifer, and so his eldest daughter is Jennifer in this film. We've talked about the Jimmy Buffett song. Jamie, were you here for the talk about the weird ADR line with the little daughter?
Yes, at the end. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So did you hear the explanation of why that was? Okay.
I did. That's also really cool.
I appreciate this conversation so much because I love this movie, and having known now all of these little bits and pieces, I'm gonna watch again with like new eyes. I love it.
A little more appreciation.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Carrie Green of it all, when she first has the headphones when we first get to the house and she takes them off, you know what I'm going to say.
Yes.
It's Axel F. from Beverly Hills Cop. The Fogelmeyer, what's his name?
Faltermeyer.
Harold Faltermeyer.
Harold
Faltermeyer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do 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 do.
Which again
awesome.
is a Paramount film, right? Is and
from a year prior,
the biggest film of 1984, which at the beginning of 1985 still is in theaters and is still beating out new 1985 movies at the box office.
So is Axel F then on the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack and the Summer Rental soundtrack?
Oh, I don't know if it's on the Summer Rental soundtrack.
That would be awesome.
That would be really funny.
Yeah.
The only other real piece of production that not that it's important, but John Candy was paid $350,000 to appear in Splash, and he made $800,000 for his work on Summer Rental. So quite a big step up, and just goes to show you the stepping stones of the John Candy career. He's getting up there.
Well, and being a leading man too.
Yeah,
that's a big difference.
Yeah.
One of the jokes I loved too in the beginning when he goes, she's like, "Why don't you unpack this trailer tomorrow? Why don't you wait? Why don't you just unpack tomorrow?" He's like, "No, I want to get all my suffering done in one day."
In one day. Yeah. Well,
oh my God.
One of my I think an absolutely great bit is the 415 Beach Road versus the 415 Beach Lane.
Exceptional.
Right?
Exceptional.
The setup of they pull into Citrus Grove. There it is, 415. Great
it's
navigating,
beautiful.
Honey. Right? I love that line. A little compliment to his wife, and then they're like, "Yep, keys are in the mailbox." They get up there. The neighbors are looking at them. Archie's barking at them.
Yeah.
And then
and the place is way too nice for a vacation rental. There's art everywhere. There's an Eames chair sitting there.
Yeah, like a postcard, Sandy says.
Ugh.
One of my favorite jokes is when he's right after he takes the headphones and he's listening to Axel F. And he sees the neighbors. They're having their food
lunch.
out on the and he says, "I'm your neighbor, and you are having lunch." It's so snobby, so great. This is where he gets his sunburn. He lays out on the beach.
You mean when he's being the worst lifeguard ever? He's like, "Oh, I'm just watching my kids."
Yeah, he's got a 4-year-old daughter.
I mean, I trust Carrie Green, but gee whiz, it's 2 little kids and they're in the ocean and he's sleeping.
But between the two, the beach lane and the beach road and the beach lane, they go for dinner at the seafood shack, and they're drooling over all the lobsters. The yacht house, yes. At the yacht house, I love.
What is that about a 3-pounder?
Yeah, 3 3/4.
3 pounds 1/4.
1/4.
What a guy!
I love that he brings mints and toothpicks to entertain his kids.
The mints and toothpicks will tie us over.
Yeah. Great.
And then when they cut to them inside, he's got one in his mouth. They've eaten the mints, but he's still got the toothpick
exactly.
in his mouth.
By the time, because at that point, they're outside the yacht club, and by the time,
you know what that just made me think of?
What's
fucking
that?
Uncle Buck, and the guy with the toothpick guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? He twirls the toothpick around in his mouth, and he's got a slit over here. That's what I thought of when I saw that part.
That's funny. I don't know that.
Yeah. So then our big Al comes in, cuts the line. That pisses off Jack and the family. But then the straw that breaks the camel's back is the last few lobsters, the 3 or 4 lobsters. Al takes them.
Yeah. Party of 5. All 5 lobsters go. The last 15 pounds of lobsters.
Yeah. As Jack and his family are next in line. And this sort of, sets him off. They have their, these are your lobsters. This is your table.
Poor wife.
This is your wife? Yeah. These are your shorts?
Something about all of this, though, to me, is this is the strung out Jack Chester and how he attacks problems. It's too much. It's like everything is a blow up and there's an issue and he's like, nothing's really that healthy.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like I love the transformation at the end, the separation of the dark part for you. I think maybe that's why the payoff is so good, because he's so different at the end. He's so caring and he's so present. He's so present after the time with Scully.
That's fair. That's fair.
We're not going to win him over, Jim.
I don't think so.
He's gonna die on the 3-day sailing hill.
And that's when he left his family.
I'm just saying it's not the strongest part of the movie. What's the funniest joke in there? They sing the Love Boat theme. I don't want.
I wrote that down. I love that when he goes. They're expecting yas. Oh my God! I laugh every single time.
An old sea shanty me mother taught me.
But just the fact that exciting and new, and then he goes expecting yas.
It's a good joke. It's a good joke.
Good.
It's for me. It's up there with George Clooney in the trunk of the car in Out of Sight when he's trying to quote the famous movie "I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore."
Okay.
Network.
Yeah.
Sydney, Patty Chayefsky, and he quotes it wrong. He's like, "I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take any more of your shit." It's an inaccurate telling. Whatever.
Yeah.
You had to be there. One too many tangents. Sorry.
Yes. Where were we? Okay, so Al and Jack, they have their fight. The locals versus renters, which drives them to the Barnacle, where we meet Scully and we have our fresh grouper. And then I think, okay, the Jack at the beach is a very great sequence, but I love from him in bed thinking that the break-in is happening to finding out that this is actually the gardener, I think that was their last name, their family home, and they're coming for their summer vacation, the beach road versus beach lane, and then everything.
They're only breaking in because the key wasn't in the glove in the mailbox.
Exactly. But I love the family has to pack up and leave, and then he spills the dog food, and he's
that is one of the funniest moments in John Candy history for me. The physical comedy of him, man. All right, we're just about to...
Yeah.
The way it pours out, the sound effects of it pouring out, the way it just scatters everywhere, and he slips in it. It's amazing.
And then I think it's classic John Candy. He's talking. He's filling the space, the awkwardness. And then they're like, just leave it. And he's like, oh yeah. You might have somebody that comes over with a dog. This is good stuff. It's good food. It's good. Just filling that space. But then that is a great bit to then also he leaves and then comes back and goes upstairs.
Forgot my Noxzema.
Forgot their daughter. Yeah, I forgot my
Noxzema.
And I forgot my daughter. And then she's like, I wet my bed. No, you wet their bed. And they leave. Such a great set of jokes all through there.
Couldn't agree more. That is perfect execution for me. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, go hard, go easy on him. He does have a bad burn.
Yes,
the wife's trying to be sympathetic.
Yeah. Now, there is apparently there's a sort of a Mandela effect, and it's believed to be the TV edit of the movie. You know how a TV edit of a movie may pad out certain elements to fit in between commercials and fit a 2-hour time block or whatever.
Sometimes they use alternate cuts, alternate
takes. So there's an alternate version where people swear that they've seen it, and it probably is watching it on TV, where Archie, throughout the course of being at the house, is chewing on the couch's legs, right? He's chewing through it, and then after everybody leaves, the Gardner family, the couch breaks and they fall back, and that's how we leave that scene.
Huh.
But I haven't seen an actual version. Again, this is something talked about on the commentary, but people swear that they've seen that sequence.
It almost sounds like something maybe they wrote, but maybe didn't. I don't know. It does sound like the type of humor that would be in this movie. It just little too many jokes in one place.
And then right after that is that beach scene we were talking about, where he's spilling all the ice water out of the cooler. One of the things
Is that right? Don't we get isn't it a smash cut to Now We See Beach
Oh,
Road?
sorry, you're
I
right.
feel like the moment we see
you're
Beach
right.
Road, I laughed out loud because it's such a contrast from that
forgot.
beautiful home they were just in.
Yes. And the neighbor Ed he's using his circular saw. They're trying to have their breakfast conversation and the saw's going off.
And then we get Red Hat Guy, exactly.
And then the beach access, yes. Which I think is a thing that's always stuck with me because that seems like my worst nightmare, to like have the public beach access right next to like my kitchen window and everybody looking in.
Yep.
And then yes, Jennifer meets the lifeguard. That's all the beach lane house.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then we go to the beach. And one of the things I noticed on this viewing, and maybe you both noticed this before, but the youngest daughter wears a very particular set of sunglasses. They're a light purple sunglasses, and they have a weird sort of jut down arm on the side. When we see Jack later in the film coming out with that tray on the iced tea, the first time he meets Vicky, he's wearing those sunglasses. I've never caught that before. They're so specific, and they do look small on his face.
Yeah.
Yep. And now we know why. That's so funny.
Yeah. So he's wearing his daughter's sunglasses later in it. He takes Bobby sailing, crashes into Al, busts his knee. He's not really able to. He's not able to get out and about. Training. Family goes to the movie theater. He gets locked outside, which is a great bit. Archie eating his popcorn, I think is what it is.
I would have guessed they went to see Footloose, by the way, just because of the kids with their music. Because of the kids with the.
Yeah, probably. That or Top Secret. They like comedies.
Wait, can't we hear the music when they're doing that? What are you listening to? Wham! At one point, are they listening to the Footloose soundtrack?
On the radio.
On the radio,
yes. Yeah.
I've just realized that. Okay.
Where are we here? Meets Vicky. I wrote down Jack gets Vicky's opinion. And then the beach house takeover we've sort of alluded to.
Vicky gets Jack's opinion. I get you.
Yeah, Vicky gets Jack's opinion.
Yes, I get you. Yes. It's funny you say that too. When we first see Carrie Green and she's in the bathing suit and the whole bit, the contrast, of course, is Andy and Troy being all fresh, like trying to look up her. I'm thinking, like, thank God Troy isn't here because there's so much skin of Andy here.
Yeah.
Do you know how Troy was kind of a pervy a little bit in the in Goonies?
Yeah, that's like an '80s movie thing. I mean,
yeah.
Like, that's just
it's excusable.
Theme.
It's like, have you seen Porky's?
Yeah, it's just. I guess that's what they did in the '80s. I don't know. I wasn't alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Youngin.
I think he's denying any kind of responsibility.
I'm definitely not taking.
I wasn't even alive.
So we have the beach house. I love the setup of the beach house takeover, where the door is ajar and the mother comes up with her daughter and
bathroom.
she has to use the bathroom. But I just love the second note of that is like, can I just get a drink of water? Yeah, sure, go in.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Yeah, it's such a great it's such a great build because then we cut back to Jack and Vicky.
Yeah.
And
you
then,
see how easily it happened.
Yes,
because all of a sudden there's 100 people in there.
Yeah, and it happens so fast. And then right after that is when Jack goes and drinks with Scully and the boys at the Barnacle.
Oh, I love that. He's like, "What can I get you?" Well, let's see. I'll have drunk.
Yeah. He's like, "You have an ice cube for this?" And they all start laughing at him. So he starts laughing too, awkwardly.
And then I think it's funny. They have that conversation, Cagney versus Stallone.
Yeah.
And obviously,
he's like, in a street fight, maybe, but not in a movie.
And
it's a funny argument.
Richard Crenna in this movie being so connected to Sylvester Stallone through the Rambo movies. I think it's funny to bring up Stallone.
I didn't even make that connection. That's funny.
Yeah. And then I won't get too much into it, but they go sailing 3 times, and then that's when
And he talks about how he learned to sail back at Camp Weehunk.
Dying.
In Brandon's least favorite part of the movie.
It is. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah,
where it gets good.
I think we sort of, and then the funeral home.
Oh,
we talked all about that. Yeah, go ahead.
The bad knee. The bad knee. He hurts. Oh, is it your bad one, Dad? Yes, it's really John Candy's bad knee. If you watch the documentary, we find out that he had an injury when he was a kid and lost his left kneecap in real life. And then so that's the leg and the whole. I thought it was interesting because he really has.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, yeah, in the documentary they talk about because he was going to play football before getting into acting, and then he couldn't play football anymore because of a knee injury.
Blew out his
he
knee.
Surgically removed his kneecap. Yeah, so we have the big challenge. The big challenge is set up. So the regatta happens every single year. It's set up earlier in the film that Al has won every single year. His picture is at the yacht house, and he's being a real jerk to Jack and kicking the family out by Saturday, right? Because he now owns the property.
I would also argue that Jack's being a jerk to him too. I know we're not supposed to say that. Just along from the beginning. From the beginning. I mean, the guy does live here in town. He does have special, whatever. So the fact that the guy comes up, Richard Crenna is an asshole for sure, of course, in this. Jack Pellet. But like also this guy is getting under his craw and he doesn't know how to sail and he puts a hole in his award-winning boat. And he's a dick about it. He's like, you have ass face, whatever calls him. So like he's not. It's like Daniel LaRusso in Cobra Kai. Like, he's not innocent either.
Yeah.
He's definitely come in here and ruffled the feathers of Jack Pellet so that Jack Pellet feels he's not just a dick for trying to kick him out. He's like, look, you've been an asshole. You've been under my, I don't know, whatever. You've been a pain in the ass for a while. And
he's trying to pay him. He wants to make it all fair. He's got the check for the 2 weeks of rent, right?
Yeah, but that's him. Yeah, I know. But Jack's different in that moment, too. He's like, oh, yes, I just want you to know my family's so happy here. Like, it's not real and authentic.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that scene.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, these are all points to, like, I just don't think, like, all of it is perfect. Like I really like this movie. I really, really do. It's just the end of it.
The 3 days. The 3 days.
Yeah. Can't get over it.
3 days is just the start. Okay.
Oh shit. Okay.
Well, I mean, we can get to it. I mean, so we have this big challenge. If he wins the race. Jack has to let his family, Al has to let Jack's family stay and rent free for the last 2 weeks of the month. If Al wins, Jack and his family will leave on Saturday.
How did he come up with the plan? Was he's soul searching at night, right? When he's like, how did Jack come up with this idea? I can't really remember, even though I just watched it. He's kind of soul searching at night, looking at the beach.
It's after his family. It's after Jennifer, basically blows up and leaves, and then the little girl repeats everything that Jennifer's saying. It's after that scene.
Yeah.
So I think he is sort of like looking out, out to the sunset or whatever it is, and then he has this sort of like, I need to make this work for my family so that they can have this vacation. Much like I'm supposed to mandatorily have, but also, he wants to respect Jennifer and her planned date with Greg, the boy that she likes, right? Like he doesn't want to take that all away because some jackass at the yacht club is now the landlord, right?
Can I interrupt real quick? I'm so sorry. I got a text from our guest here who says, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize it would be this late. I have to get Journey to bed. Our guest has to go. Can you maybe give us your rating before, and then Brandon and I can wrap up the rest of this?
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
Good.
I've got to. This is what's hard for me in rating this movie is because I am so emotionally attached to
the feeling I get from it, I'm emotionally attached to John Candy himself. I'm emotionally attached to Nicole loving this movie.
Yeah.
So on all of that, it's like a total 10 out of 10 for me, just because it's the, it's the whole feeling of it. But if I have to separate myself from it, then it's like
there's 5 stars, but you can do halves if you want. But 5
halves.
would be the best.
Yeah.
5 would be the best.
Yeah.
So that part of me is like 5 stars because it means a lot to me. But 3?
Wow, that's hilarious. That's amazing.
But you know what's funny is that it changed through the course of this whole conversation.
Yeah.
I came in here like, oh yeah, definitely, like this is the best ever. But well, actually, no. Now I'm reneging that. Now
Brandon makes some good points, right?
And Brandon's brought up some good points, but also like all the little trivia stuff that I've learned about. You know what? I'm gonna die on the 5 hill because I love this movie. I love everything it stands for. I love all of the stories that's part of it, and that's what makes like the movie. It's not about it being perfect. It's not about it's about the feeling that you get when you watch it.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
And that for me that's the biggest thing.
So are you going with 5 then? Is that your final?
I'm gonna go with like 5.
Hey, that's fine. That's why we have people on, okay, for their opinions.
I'm gonna go with 5, and it's for all of those reasons. It's not perfect. The story, goes up and down in a little bit, and all the things that you've said. But like, movies are supposed to make
other
feel.
Things connected to it, which is totally fair.
Yep.
Exactly. Movies are supposed to make you feel, and that's exactly what it does.
Yeah. Well,
Nice.
the only thing you're really gonna miss is just the breakdown of the release, but just a really interesting thing is Summer Rental opened up number 2 and beat Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which opened up the same day. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's really I think is kind of an interesting thing. But to be fair, at the time, John Candy is big. Nobody outside of LA knows who the Pee Wee Herman character is, right?
Not yet.
Because,
You're exactly
because
right.
The movie,
They're about to find out.
The movie comes out before the TV show.
Yes.
So it's the discovery of Pee Wee's Big Adventure and Pee Wee Herman. Right. And obviously the legacy of Pee Wee's Big Adventure far surpasses Summer Rental. But I do think it's interesting that Summer Rental beat Pee Wee's Big Adventure at the box office on the opening weekend.
Was the televised stage production, the HBO one-time televised stage production of Pee-wee's Playhouse, was that ever,
I believe
or
so.
Pee Wee Herman show or whatever, that had come out, I think.
I believe
but
so,
still,
yes.
it's behind a paywall at HBO.
It's on
so
HBO,
not that many
exactly.
Saw it.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
But,
that jives with my memory.
Thank you so much for joining us, Jamie. We absolutely
Thank you so much for having
appreciate
me,
it.
guys. I love this. I love this whole thing. I love this movie. I love you, Jay, and now I love you, Brandon. Despite the 3 days, it's fine. But yeah, I thank you so much for having me on. I super appreciate it, and yeah, everything you've said, it's just added to my whole feeling of this movie, and that's really
for sure.
Awesome.
You were the perfect guest for this. I can't thank you enough, and I love you so much.
All right, goodbye, guys.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. All right. Okay. So that was wonderful. She's incredible.
I'm glad you did the Mythbuster stuff up front so that we made sure to get to it.
Yeah. Where were we? Oh yeah. So the race, the race challenge, and then they need to clean up the boat. That's where Angus comes in. He's got to find the sail. All leading to the heart-to-heart with Jennifer, which we sort of already talked to, and then this big montage. The family comes to sort of see what Jack's been up to, and can we help? Of course, come aboard, right? I love this, right? This,
yeah.
And
how receptive he was.
Yes, and
me too.
I think this is. I just wish maybe the family was more involved earlier on, right? And I get your point, and like earning this moment. and maybe I just need to watch Summer Rental more, but
I think Jack needed to go through what Jack needed to go through is all I meant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I do. I don't know if it was designed as a device to make, the reunion better, or if it was just that this is the stuff this burnt out guy needed to go through. You know, he was having his own issue. It sounds like midlife crisis stuff to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That,
fair.
you know what I mean? The stuff he was dealing with and going through in his mind, and then that that this sailing thing with Scully and drinking and letting loose a little bit, not permanently, just a couple days to refine himself, feel like he had something to offer.
Well, and maybe again, this is just like adding something that is not there at all, but like maybe there's some sort of element of like he's so into work that he like doesn't really have like friends outside of work, right? He has no way to like, he's just like at work, then at home with his family. Whereas like there's an element of like finding a friend in Scully, somebody
just
that's
made a friend,
a third party, someone outside of his family unit and his work.
Dude, totally. That makes so much sense. I didn't even think about, but that totally makes sense.
And then we get this awesome Jimmy Buffett montage with this song, this original Jimmy Buffett piece that only appears on the Summer Rental soundtrack.
Such a good tune.
And then we have the final race after Angus he drives all over Florida to find this 50-foot sail. Can't seem to find one.
And then when you watch the race, it's the smallest sail out of all the boats. All the other sails are taller,
and it looks like exactly the same as all the other. Like it's the same sort of like material.
Totally.
Again, just a screenplay thing that I just don't think is as effective as it could be. And then we have the race, and okay, I like the race. There's just something kind of funny to me about the speed of these sailboats. They're so slow, right? Like
none of them are winning the America's Cup.
It is not like high energy, fast paced. It is like we see these boats go and then they just crawl, absolutely crawl. But, it is what it is.
But you're right. If you watch the real stuff on television, the guys are hanging off sideways. There's all this rigging, and there's fast pace, of course.
The wake.
You have to be athletic to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. That's a good point.
This is where that ADR line shows up. And then the other thing that every time I watch the movie, I forget about this, but I'm always so like blown away by it and like the magic of film is those dolphins that appear in the foreground.
I love that.
It's just like that is
you can't. They're not hired dolphins. It just happened.
They just happened. They caught them on film, and even family summer John Candy movies directed by Carl Reiner, they capture real magic like that on film. It's just every time I go like, oh yeah, those dolphins. I can't believe those dolphins are just jumping out of the water there.
I'm so with you on that. There's something about that scene where it's almost like that scene in Jaws where they're following the boat coming around and they're trying to get the barrels. There's something very exciting about this moment.
Well, Jaws has an even crazier magic caught on film, which is the shooting star.
You're right.
The shooting star in Jaws is a real shooting star they caught on film. And
it's amazing.
You watch it today and you think like it could be a visual effect, right? Like even in the years of 1975, it could have been an optical effect, but it's not. Like it's a real shooting star. It's legitimate magic. We find out that the freezer and all of the frozen catch of the day have been in the hull of the barnacle this whole time.
Hundreds and hundreds of pounds of ballast.
Yep. They litter all of this food into the ocean.
I thought you says to me, don't throw away the food in the freezer.
It was a thing that when Renee and I were watching it, we were like, oh, so they're just littering in putting all this garbage, a freezer in the ocean? Cool.
Yeah.
What kind of message? Yeah. And then
throwing all that scrod back to the sea.
Yeah. And then we sort of have this like tie-in, they bring it back around to Jack's air traffic control, his knowledge of the airstream, he sees this plane, this biplane, struggling and catching some sort of weird, he calls it a Maverick microburst.
Yep.
And
A what? A low altitude funnel gunnel.
Yes. And
basically a little tornado.
Yes, that he's catching in the sails, which is getting him just up behind Al.
Yeah, he falls off, and Scully can't figure out what he's doing. He's like, I see air over there. And he's like, you can't see air. And he's like, see that plane? And he describes the science. I love that part, because that was the bridging of old Jack and new Jack.
Exactly.
For me.
Well, and it's the setup at the beginning of the movie. Like, it's sort of, it's just a cool, like, you know, it's a writing device to, like, tie in what it made the beginning of the movie, his job, important for something that happens at the end that only he could
unique knowledge that he brings.
Exactly. Which allows him to not, it's not just luck that he's winning the regatta, it's his family helping him get the boat done, it's the friends he's made, and now it's his actual knowledge from his life that he's applying that is giving him this advantage.
Totally.
And then I guess the other advantage is his pants,
his size,
his large pants. They need, what does he say? Like, I need 2 yards of sail.
With 2 more yards of sail, we would have done it. You know.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Wilhelm saying that. And I think he goes, "Hey, Scully, take the wheel," and he just goes off camera.
He just dips out of the frame, and it's not until the I
Angus,
think
it's who I couldn't think of.
They're passing Al, and Al's like, where'd they get all that wind? Where'd they get all the wind? And then that's with the shot of just John Candy waving. We see they cut to the pants full of
air. You hear the voiceover, Al, he's flying his pants, Al.
Yeah. And then the reveal of John Candy in his Blackhawks sweater and his boxers. Yeah.
So good. With
his pirate earring, which changes ears multiple times throughout the film. If you're paying attention,
I did notice that, but this is the first time I noticed in HD that it wasn't a real earring, that it was just a clip-on.
Yeah, unless there was like a scene where he went and got his ear pierced with Scully, which could have been funny.
I think I always thought, oh, he pierced his ear that crazy drunk night. Yeah. I think I always thought that as a kid.
Which, I mean, that could have been, right? It easily could have been that too.
Something about, it's a real hook, like he's got the hook on his, something about it.
Yeah. I think the other thing that is like what makes this movie special and the John Candy of it all is that there's always a bit. Him with the fly swatter, he's just got a little bit. When Archie locks him outside and then he's watching the TV and like something happens and he puts the bone in his mouth and then realizes that it's gross, he gets the hook on his hat and instantly pricks his finger, right? Like, there's always a little bit extra. There's always a little bit of candy
somewhere,
little candy sauce he puts on everything. Actually, that reminds me, one of the other from that same article that I was reading about Karren Austin talking about
the extra Larroquette scenes.
Yes, she talks about her experience with John Candy. Where is it here? And she says, very positive things. We got along great. He was multidimensional, but above all things, he was good-natured. And I mean that in the fullest sense. I don't think I ever saw him lose his temper or not speak with kindness to someone. I mean, every now and then he'd say, we've got to clear the set. We got to work this out. But it was never in a rude way. And that is in reference to if something wasn't working, if a joke wasn't working, if a scene, if a bit wasn't working, essentially John Candy would ask to clear the set of all working personnel so that him and Carl Reiner or him and the scene partners, they could work in more of like a peaceful environment, in order to
get the creative right on this.
Yes. Yeah. Let's focus up and not have, gaffers and people walking around the set and carrying things through and banging and clashing, in order to focus. I like that quote because she's specifying that he never got mad. He never lost his temper with everybody, but he also took it so seriously that if something isn't working, it's like, okay, everybody needs to clear out. We got to figure this out. This joke has to work, or it doesn't matter how good your lighting is or how good your set deck is. If the joke isn't landing, we're dead in the water, right?
Yep.
Which I obviously, we don't. We only know secondhand how John Candy works, but I think that's such an interesting insight to his process, especially for someone who is a comedic genius and an icon. It's really cool to get those little bits of insight on how focused and how important that side of it was to him.
I agree. It sounds like standard by the premise, by the bit, and it sounds like he's making sure that we get this premise laid out properly. Otherwise, the bit is pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it does strike me as that kind of when I hear other stories from other movies, even Ghostbusters included, which he didn't end up making. That does sound like this jives with him throughout.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you said, his process. That's his process.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they sail the pants, they jump the fish, and then they win. And I wrote down here, smash cut credits, because movie's
over.
This is the other part of the thing. Every time I watch this movie, I go, I wish there was one more scene. I wish there was an epilogue, or even just like a shot of like John Candy and his family in the case at the yacht club, right?
Oh, yeah, right? Totally. Oh my God, that would be great.
Yeah, it doesn't even need to be another scene. It's just like the ending of the movie kind of seems very abrupt. It doesn't seem complete, in my opinion.
No, I agree, but it's very Carl Reiner, like leave them wanting more, like showmanship, like let's just put a little button on it. Oh, you liked this song before? We're going to play it for you again. Everybody have a great night.
Yeah, yeah.
And, it's the runtime in this is what, 126 or something? Like it's a
87
very
minutes.
short movie. Yeah.
87 minutes.
87.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we have all the photos that we discussed, which some of them are shot by Karren Austin. Well, we definitely went through the whole plot. Very short and sweet.
We hit all my notes too. I don't have anything else.
So, Summer Rental is released August 9th, 1985. Opens up number 2 at the box office because Back to the Future is still holding strong 6 weeks in at number 1. As I had mentioned, number 3 at the box office is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. New the same day. They both come out August 9th. Couple other films. European Vacation, number 4. Fright Night, number 5, has been out for 2 weeks. Weird Science, number 6. Very similar style of movie. Real Genius, number 7. Cocoon, number 8. Follow That Bird, number 9. So there's all of that. So John Candy's in 2 movies currently, and then number 10, Silverado.
I never saw that.
We'll get to it. I've never seen it either.
Oh, cool.
Summer Rental played for 7 weeks. Interestingly enough, it drops to number 6, week 2. So I did write down the second week release. So still number 1, Back to the Future. Number 2, a film that we'll eventually get to, but also starring John Candy, Volunteers, opens up the very next week, August 16th, 1985. So John Candy has had 2 separate number 2 movies in subsequent weeks in 1985. Number 3, Pee-wee still holding strong. And then number 4, Return of the Living Dead, comes out a week after Summer Rental. Summer Rental estimated $10 to $15 million, ended up making $24 million. So success, not a major hit. Not a blockbuster. The other interesting thing, which I learned...
There seemed to be very little, if any, marketing on this movie, though, because I will say, like, during this time, I was watching movies. I was a consumer of movies, and I don't remember a single commercial for Summer Rental, which is probably how it missed me. Whereas, like, Great Outdoors was, like, nonstop on the afternoon, whatever I was watching. I would see that commercial all the time. So I wonder, maybe they didn't market it that much.
And just think about that turnaround. They're shooting and
Oh, you're
releasing
right.
the movie
Oh, whoa.
within 6 months, right?
There's almost not time to promote it and do a press tour and everything. Whoa, right.
Exactly. It's probably some bare minimum stuff, right?
Totally, yeah. You're right. They probably put him on Carson or something at the time, and that was it.
Yeah.
Wow.
The other thing that I learned is sort of after Summer Rental, John Candy and Carl Reiner were developing a remake of the 1953 Alec Guinness film Last Holiday, which never ended up coming to fruition until Queen Latifah made it many years later. The remake of Last Holiday. I don't know if it's actually connected to that, but before John Candy passed away, Carl Reiner and John Candy were planning to work together again on that. Wow. Now, Siskel and Ebert did not review Summer Rental. In fact, I couldn't even find either of them reviewing it for their newspapers. So I just pulled on the Wikipedia. There was kind of one resource review. Janet Maislin from the New York Times, because I really only like to read reviews from the year that the film came out.
So that you have the proper context and all.
Exactly. What, everything in context. So Janet says, Summer Rental is a wan but good-natured hot weather comedy with a big debt to National Lampoon's Vacation, plus a few nice touches on its own. John Candy is on familiar territory as the clownish patriarch of an all-American suburban family, but Mr. Candy is fun to watch under any circumstances. And then she says, the screenplay by Jeremy Stevens and Mark Reisman is largely uneventful, and it insists on winding up with a protracted sailing regatta, which is not a great thrill to watch on the screen.
Yeah, you're both right about that.
The film doesn't even have an ending after the regatta is won. It simply stops.
This is true.
Mr. Candy's big blustery
It's very
presence,
cartoony, like that's all, folks.
Yes,
it just kind of
exactly.
closes.
Which, even if John Candy said that's all, folks, would have made the ending better. Mr. Candy's big blustery presence is the only thing really holding it together. And then she sort of talks a little bit about Rip Torn giving a good performance, even though it's like a weird performance. But I kind of agree with this particular review. Obviously, some of the points I brought up are directly talked about in the review, but ultimately, it is a good movie. I think it has some screenplay issues, but I like I said, the first 40 so minutes or whatever, this movie just kills me. Like everything with the family, all the stuff in the beach road and the beach lane house.
Excellent.
The lobsters, all those little bits with the mints and the toothpicks, like all of that stuff is like really, really, really great stuff.
Do you think this is one of those rare comedies that could actually benefit from another 6 or 7 minutes, 10 minutes?
I think so.
If we had a little bit more of something in the, because I agree with you that this movie is uneven in that we feel like the first hour is a lead up to a movie, and then the second half hour is just a quick wrap up.
Yeah.
Or the last half hour.
Yeah.
There's an unevenness to it there. Yeah, I do. I mean, these are all good points. It's definitely not perfect, but I mean, I also can't. Yeah. I don't know. I can't wait to rate it.
Well, again, getting another shout out, Joe Ramone, Hats Off Entertainment. He has a film series on his channel called Almost Cult Classics, where he talks about movies that are just almost cult classics, and Summer Rental is one of Summer Rental is one of the ones he covers on that film series. That's linked in the description below. It's if you have any interest in John Candy, check out his channel, because like I said, he does some really great deep dives on a lot of John Candy, plus other great classic 80s and 90s movies, and he's getting into some like early 2000s like lost TV shows in terms of like they're not available, nobody really talks about them, but they existed on television for a period of time. Really, really interesting stuff.
I've been trying to buy Wings forever, but I can't find it for purchase. It's only streaming on Peacock.
Yeah, we don't get Peacock in Canada either. All right, so obviously I talk about Letterboxd on this show a lot. Love Letterboxd. These are some of the reviews for Summer Rental that I pulled from Letterboxd. Marnie says, movies used to be 87 minutes and have John Candy. 2.5 stars. Average Zach says, I get this confused a lot with The Great Outdoors. 3 stars. Which is true. I think I've heard a lot of people say, like, even seeing this on TV, you know, at a certain point being like, is this Great Outdoors or is this Summer Rental? Just
John Candy family vacation movie.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah. Okay, this one, Demetrius
The Great Outdoors
says,
is spectacular, though. There's so much good in The Great
so
Outdoors.
much fun.
Fucking
Great Dan Aykroyd
alone.
character.
Oh,
yeah,
so good.
Yeah. Demetrius says,
Boo.
this was a rough watch, but if you pull through, you're rewarded with the origin story of Patches O'Houlihan. 3 stars. Rip Torn's character from Dodgeball. Which is very piratey.
It is. That's very funny.
And then the last one here, you brought it up already, but I pulled it because I wanted to make sure I talked about it. Willie's Cool says, that guy looks like John Madden. 5 stars.
Nice.
All right. Well, Jay, we have Jamie's rating. What are you rating Summer Rental?
I should probably open by saying I agree with everything she said because the emotional attachments I have to this movie are just so severe. And then hearing some of her stories today about, you know, meeting John Candy and, you know, having actually been to the Great Outdoors set, you know, kind of just blew me away. But, you know, you bring up points too. And I even before our conversations today, I wouldn't have made it a 5-star. But I because of so many things in it that I love, and despite its imperfections, I still say it's a solid 4. It's hilarious, adorable, and heartfelt. Yeah. And for that, for me, it's 4 stars.
Yeah.
And I mean it. I mean it. I feel those 4 stars. You know.
Yeah.
It's probably generous because I love it so much.
And I think that is a big part of like a movie's longevity in your own personal life is the happy memories that you have associated with it. And that, of course, that can be factored into your rating. Like there's no reason why your personal rating can't reflect your personal feelings outside of the content or the structure of the film, right?
Because of all of the references that Nicole and I would make, you know, like, sorry, pal, I'm late. And she would laugh every single time because she caught the reference. Like, I have those memories in my life and I don't have my wife anymore. So like those memories are all I have. So of course I'm attaching all of that to my rating. Yes. Of
course.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
and Jamie sounded like she did too.
Oh yeah.
Maybe even more so.
Yeah. Well, I was actually shocked because Jamie's original rating is my rating. I'm giving Summer Rental 3 stars, but it's 3 stars and a heart for me.
Of course.
Because I really do like this movie a lot. I love John Candy with all my heart. But there is, every time I watch Summer Rental, I feel my attention dipping at that part in the movie.
I love that part every time. And her too. That's so funny.
Yeah.
The score on that, I don't know how Apple gets their scorings, but I think it's 19% on maybe Rotten Tomatoes. Is that right? So it's not a high score.
No,
it's not a high score.
But I think that Summer Rental is definitely better than some of the other John Candy movies. Not to like John Candy is actually like always good in his movies, but I brought it up, Delirious, right? He's good in the movie. But the movie doesn't do him justice, right? In fact, I actually, one of the articles I found, but I could post it, but it was a Gene Siskel interview with John Candy, which is really fascinating to read, except I couldn't actually read the article on the Chicago Tribune's website. You had to be like a subscriber and pay for it. So I ended up bouncing around the internet and finding a paywall averter thing. I don't even know how it was, but I found the article through like pasting the link on this thing. Anyway, it was a really great read. because it was
Oh.
John Candy in 1986 talking about his career up to that point with Gene Siskel. And he talks about he essentially like more or less hits each movie and talks about how he got involved with it and what his thoughts were with it. And maybe it's the box office, it coming out the year prior. John Candy is like the script is I should have written down the word. I think he called it like threadbare or something. He used some specific word. And
About
him
this
and,
one?
Yes. And him and Carl were working really hard to take it up a notch. But it's it is a really good article. So if you want to seek it out, like it's out
work,
there.
but you can find it. Sure.
It's work, but you can find it, and it is quite fascinating to hear John Candy talk about his films with Siskel.
Definitely.
Well, I don't think there's anything more to say. I think let me check my phone notes here, make sure I hit everything. I love his little Dash Cup coffee holder and the opening of the film. So cool.
Those were popular. My grandparents had that with the two little tabs, and it slipped under the two little tabs. I love the. It's my fault. I should have told him to boil the second egg.
Yes,
so good.
That's a great bit. Yeah, I think we hit everything. Yeah, we got it all.
Filmed on location in Georgia and Florida.
Yep. St. Pete's. St. Pete.
Oh, is that where they did it? St.
Yeah, St. Pete Beach, Florida.
Well, that's why there's not so. It's too high up in the Gulf. That's why there's not. It's not more windy for that regatta.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
That's out on the coast. You
need more wind for the speed.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
We did it.
That was good. Jamie's great.
I'm so glad that you guys got to chat.
Yeah, I was so excited to chat Mythbusters with someone involved. That's the coolest.
She plays it down a little bit. I mean, she was a big deal over there. She ran that show over there. She plays it down. But like, if you walk over there and you ask anybody, blah blah blah, oh, ask Jamie. Jamie knows everything. Jamie's. If there was an incident or an issue or an injury or literally anything, it was Jamie.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the way she sort of alluded to like, yeah, I did all the boring stuff, the payroll, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, in order for that show to run and be successful, you need the person to do the quote unquote boring stuff on Mythbusters, right?
Yeah.
Like literally managing the entire production of a show like that, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do that job.
And I'm sure you saw her in the background some other times. I had an old assistant at David E. Kelly that became a researcher over there, and we would see him all the time too. And you see him on the show all the time. So I feel like the crew was just always seen. They're all kind of characters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, anything? Oh, I guess we should say what we're doing next week.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, so this was it's a switcheroo from what we thought we would be doing.
Well, no, next week's guest was already scheduled. This was supposed to be the St. Elmo one with Scott on tape, but he had to reschedule. So we'll get to St. Elmo's Fire down the road.
That's not next week.
No, that's not next week. Next week's movie is one of the rare movies that Brandon doesn't own on physical media. There's only been two, or one other one. And my family owned it, but I couldn't find the tape before the episode, and that was One Magic Christmas. That's right. This is the second film thus far that I don't physically own, and it is a Indiana Jones ripoff called King Solomon's Mines. It is a canon movie. It's on Amazon in Canada. I don't know if it's on Amazon in the States. But I believe you can find it on Tubi as well. There might just be some commercials. But it is a Canon Films. Canon Films are very, very popular. They made a lot of the Chuck Norris movies. But it's an interesting... I've never seen it. So I'm looking forward to talking to it with our guest, who is a local artist up here named Russell Traylor.
Oh my God! It looks exactly like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah. And here's a little teaser. I've never seen it. I don't know the story behind this, but its other comparison to Indiana Jones is John Rhys Davies is also in King Solomon's Mines. So we're going to be talking about
of the sea.
Bad dates. We will be watching that with our guest Russell Traylor next week. He's a wonderful artist. I'm really looking forward to talking with him. Yeah.
I'm going to find the picture for next week. But when Nicole and I first started dating, she had this stuffed monkey. It came in a gift basket or something, but it reminded me of either Marcel from Friends or the monkey from Karren Allen from, of course, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
And at one point, she was at work one day, and I took a picture of it posed on the floor, all like a dead monkey, and I wrote on a piece of paper, "Bad dates."
Bad dates.
I just took a picture of it and sent it to her, and she didn't get it, and I was so upset. And then, of course, she did get it because we watched the movie and whatever, and then she thought it was the funniest thing forever. I'm going to find the picture. Man, the memories that you make me... I mean, like, that's another reason I love doing the show with you, is even when we're talking about stuff that isn't about a movie, you're bringing up these... You're making my mind spin, and I think of these moments or whatever that are so fond in my memory bank that I get to relive them, and I get to do that live with everybody. So it's really just for me, but thanks.
Before we get out of here, I'm going to highlight this comment here from Brian. It says, King Solomon Mines, prepare to laugh. All right.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Yeah. It's gonna be an interesting one. Obviously, we both haven't seen it. It was picked by our guest, so we'll see.
So amazingly, with an iPhone, all I had to do was search bad dates.
Oh, because it can analyze the writing on your...
Yeah. Now, I don't know how to pick it up without highlighting the... It's highlighting the fact that I said bad days, but you can see the picture of the monkey and you get the joke.
That's so funny.
It's so stupid. That's awesome. Thanks, Brandon. I love you, buddy. I love doing the show with you. Tonight was extra special for me. Thank you.
Life's a beach. I don't know if that was the original tagline.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That doesn't sound very Carl Reiner.
Does this one... No, my VHS doesn't. My VHS doesn't have a tagline on it. Carl Reiner directed this tale of a family man who takes a vacation from sanity when he takes a lease on a Florida summer rental. There's the photo on the back. I guess that's the breakfast scene.
They're about to leave and go out on John Larroquette's boat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he has that great line.
That's when they find out he just got divorced. He's like, oh, no, Don's divorced, honey.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we'll have a good time.
Okay. Right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on the replay. We love you all here. Thank you for watching live. We will be back next Wednesday, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time with Russell Traylor and King Solomon's Mines.
Can't wait. I'm excited now.
Yeah, me too.
Hilarious.
Good night, everybody. Take care.
I love you, Brandon. Good night, everybody. We love you.